All right, so I'm live on all the YouTubes, and I should be live on Twitch right now as well. All right, y'all. Y'all see the topic on the board? Yeah, happy Saturday. It is a Saturday. Y'all see the topic on the board? I'm gonna be up here for a couple hours, maybe 2.5, maybe 3. Be up here for a couple of hours getting some conversations in. And once again, thank you for being here. All right, I do got a guest. We're gonna talk to Nat really quickly. How's it going? Name is Nat.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
All right, name is Nat.
Yeah.
How you doing, Nat? Are you at least 18? And do you think you give me a good reason to believe in your God?
Yes and yes.
All right, cool. Before we start that, are you any type of which religion are you going to be going off of if you do have a religion?
It's one you probably never heard of before, but I can explain it in like a few, maybe like 30 seconds or less. It's like uncommon because people don't get it too often, like compared to the mainstream religion like Christianity and Islam. So basically, it sounds kind of weird. It's an indigenous religion. We actually worship a shape. And
indigenous like Native American, like from South America or North America?
No, it's like all over. It's like unified. It's like a shared belief kind of thing. It's like an indigenous thing, but it's like I feel like you should also believe in the shape because it's the shape of curvy women, and I worship that.
I was so confused for a second. I was like, "Where are we going with this?"
I agree. With you, man. We're already friends on that.
Gotcha. Nah, I agree. We should be worshiping the shape of curvy woman. Yeah, 100%.
All right, brother. Thanks for having me.
No problem. I appreciate you.
All
right, y'all. Me and Nat out here spreading the good word of the booty gospel. So spreading the word of the booty gospel, y'all. Yeah, that definitely. He's right. We should be worshiping that shape. That shape is amazing to see. Oh man. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all for being here. Y'all go ahead and keep liking it live. Keep sharing, please. Let's try to get this to 10K likes, y'all. Let's try to get this to 10K likes, man. I once again, I thank y'all for being here. We're gonna go ahead and keep it rolling, keep it moving. I do see we have another guest. I'm gonna bring them up. All right, Reggie.
Yeah, what's up? It's Regin.
Okay, I never heard him that before. Cool. Are you at least 18? And do you believe in any type of God?
Yes.
All right, cool. Any particular religion?
Christianity.
All right, cool. So you are a Christian. Cool. Why should I believe in the Christian God?
Have you never heard of have you never looked at the trees?
Look at the trees. That's what you're gonna do. Are you trolling me right now?
I'm not trolling, bro. 100% serious. Have you never looked at the trees?
Of course, I've looked at the trees. But this is a very, very bad argument. You know that, right? And as a matter of fact, I don't really care about arguments. I really care about something that's demonstrable. But sure,
I see.
The trees. Yeah, sure, the trees. Yeah, but the trees don't tell me that a God exists.
You want me, God, a supernatural concept. You want me to demonstrate that in this natural world?
Wait a minute. I'm reading your name backwards. Ah, okay. I see. Cool.
What?
All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and move on. Definitely was able. I just saw Aaron's comment, and I was like, hold on, let me read this, and then I read it backwards. Yep. Of course, we always get that. Of course, beautiful black people always get the type of stuff on our lives. All right, Joker, how's it going, Joker? Are you at least 18? And do you believe in any type of God?
Yes, I do.
All right, great. Which God do you believe in, if you have a particular one?
There's not a particular God, but I do believe in a higher power.
Believe in a higher power. So you don't go off of Christianity or anything like that.
Nah, not religion. Just there's a God, there's a higher power, and that's how we're all connected through that essence.
Okay, sure. How do you know that's true, and why should I believe in it?
It's true because you can see the world around you. You know what I'm saying? Like one form of I wouldn't call it a religion, but one way we used to connect through spirituality is we used to pray to the sun, because the sun is the highest power in the universe that we could see with our own two eyes, just standing on the planet without no technology.
Mm-hmm.
So would you agree that the sun is a higher power?
Well, I agree that the sun is a higher power. No, not necessarily. I mean, the sun is powerful, yeah, but is it something that it's like to worship? I don't think so.
You may not want to worship it, but can you go a day without it?
No, we can't. Of course, but that's more of a physical thing, right? So I don't think that it's. So you think that the natural is what we should be worshiping then? But I don't see a reason to worship natural things. What does that do for me?
I see a reason to worship the sun, because without the sun, you wouldn't be alive. You know what I'm saying? The sun is a higher power because it brings us so many things that we use on this planet. If that sun goes out, we go out. So what would be praising the sun would not technically be a bad thing, especially if you agree that the sun is powerful, but you also are technically agreeing with me that the sun is a higher power.
Yeah, it's more powerful.
Higher power than you.
Yeah, it's powerful. Yeah. It's more powerful than me, more powerful than us. Yeah, but I don't see that as a reason to worship it, because what? Like, so your God is the sun, basically? You're worshiping the sun?
Yeah, I would give thanks to the sun, yes.
I mean, yeah, I can feel gratitude that we live around a type of star that gives us the type of light that we have, and for us to live the life that we have, sure, but that's only because we evolved under this certain type of star, right? If it was something else, you would worship it or not exist. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not seeing just because the sun, you know, of course it's what we need to survive on this planet, therefore we should worship it. I don't see a reason to worship it.
It's, if you don't see a reason to worship it, then that's because you don't like to give respect to higher powers. That's all that is. It's no
respect to higher powers. What do you mean?
Yes. You don't like to give respect to a higher power. Like, if you're thankful that the sun is here, you don't even know why the sun is here, but you know we all live off of it. Just give thanks.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. But because you're ungrateful and you don't appreciate what has been given to you,
the sun,
you know what I'm saying? So you just look at it and you're like, oh, whatever, it's here. I use it, but right, so I'm not going to sit here and say thanks.
Joker, hold on. The sun is here because of gravity, because, you know, dust and particles collapsed onto itself and created a fusion. So that's why why the sun exists. We know that, all right? But still, the sun isn't conscious.
But that's not.
The sun isn't conscious. It's not willful. So why worship?
Says who?
Because it doesn't have the capacity to be conscious.
How do you know that, though?
Everything that we know about consciousness, the sun doesn't have that.
And as far as the sun being a living and having a consciousness, how would you ever test that? Because science is through testing. You have never tested, or nobody has ever tested the sun having a consciousness.
Yeah, they have, because you can't talk consciousness without a brain. The sun doesn't have one.
Says who? Who has been in the middle of the sun?
You know, we have mathematical models, and we can measure the light that comes from it, which tells us what's chemically composed of, et cetera, et cetera.
So you saying through science, you understand everything in the universe?
No, I'm not saying we understand everything in the universe.
Okay, so if you don't understand everything in the universe,
Joker, I'm trying to answer you.
All right, go ahead. My bad.
Of course, we don't understand everything in the universe as of yet. Of course, what I'm saying is that the way that we understand consciousness is that it requires a brain, and the brain requires certain chemicals. It requires certain formation, right? The sun doesn't have that. So if you're saying that the sun has some sort of other consciousness that we cannot detect, Sure, fine, but why should we even believe that then? Like, do you think that the sun is actually conscious and we just can't detect it?
I feel like the sun is a higher power. I only brought up the consciousness thing is because you said the sun wasn't conscious, but you don't have no real evidence of proving that the sun isn't conscious. I'm just saying that for the sun being here, and it's something that we can see with our own two eyes being on the planet, and millions of people worship the sun way before there was any religions and stuff like that. They gave thanks to the sun. I don't feel like, and we both just agreed that the sun is higher powered than both of us. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like it's a bad thing to give thanks to something that we need every day.
You can give thanks to the sun all you want. That's fine. Those earlier civilizations worshiped the sun because they thought it was conscious. They thought the sun was willful. They thought the sun was an actual agent that actually did things instead of just shine. Yeah, I mean, but the sun is a star.
It does do things. The sun is not just a star. The sun gives us life.
Right. We know that because the sun is the largest source of energy that the earth has. We know that.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is that doesn't make it a willful agent. When I say willful agent, I'm talking about like this, like me. You see, I could swing this hat around. I could talk to you, stuff like that. That's a willful agent. The sun doesn't do any of that. No star does that.
No. Listen. What I'm saying is, like, let's say, hold on, wait. 2YZ, just give me a second. You said the sun it doesn't have our form of consciousness as far as a brain and a synapses and stuff like that, right? So I was saying that science doesn't have all the answers. The sun may be conscious, but it'll be conscious in its own way. You don't know what are these things are capable of. I done heard stories about the moon and things like that. You can't really like go against it, but you can't really confirm it as well. So you in the middle.
You're giving hypotheticals, brother.
You can think hypotheticals. Yes, right. Yeah.
My guy. The moon is a big piece of rock. Okay, that's all it is. All right. So
I get that.
If people are gonna say that the moon is conscious, then that means that rocks can be conscious. And how do we show that? Yeah, how do we show that to be true? Same thing with stars. Stars are just fusion reactors. How do we?
We don't know. We don't know what's on the moon, bro.
We do know what's on the moon. We've landed there. We know it's on the moon.
Who landed on the? I mean,
humans land on the moon.
That's a whole nother debate. That's a whole nother.
It's not. It's not a debate. We went
Why
back.
We never go back?
We went back just a month ago.
Humans?
Yeah, we went back just a month ago. Did you see the Artemis mission?
Humans landed on the moon a month ago.
No, we didn't land. But that landing is coming in probably I think next year. We're gonna go back to the moon next year. The reason why we didn't go back is because America and Russia were in a competition to see who will get there first. Once that happened, the funding for it just dried up. That's the only reason we didn't go back. Doesn't mean that we don't have the capability. We can have the capability. It just wasn't a national it wasn't a national interest at that point. Once we beat Russia, there was no interest anymore to go back. And I'm saying now, I disagree. I think they should have kept on going because now we see that moon rocks actually carry an isotope that can possibly give us infinite energy. So like we should have been going back to try to develop that technology. Right now we're like 50 years behind when we could have been 50 years ahead by now. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we've gone to the moon. We've landed on it. Like other countries have taken pictures of the moon landers on the moon. There will be no reason for them to do that. Like they have competing interests with the United States. Why would they confirm what the United States did? That'll make no sense.
No, it does make sense when you're talking about a global brainwashing.
Why would they do that? Do you understand how many people would need to be involved in this? You're talking about over 1 million people.
It wouldn't take that much people.
Yes, it would.
Why would it need 1 million people to brainwash something? Bro, it does not take that much people.
Not only would you need to
be involved to push a lie.
Listen, NASA has close to 100,000 employees. Are you saying that all of them are lying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, so hold on. Let's talk about this real quick.
Black Joker.
So do you understand? Hold on. So do you understand? You're saying
the same thing over and over, brother. What is a photon versus a proton? No, I'm hearing you say the same thing to the host with different words. It's all speculation. What is a photon versus a proton?
That's not even what the hell I'm talking about.
No, you're talking
listen.
science.
So
now.
let me.
No, bro. I've been hearing you for 15 minutes.
Bro, listen. But I wasn't even talking to you, fam.
But you don't have to. I'm
you
a guest.
stay out of this. Like I'm talking to the host. Me and the host was trying to get to a common ground.
Everybody pause. Let's go ahead and get back to the conversation. Two, I'm gonna get you in a second. I'm gonna get you. We'll go ahead and get back into the conversation. Like, listen, we've landed on the moon is indisputable. There's no reason for them to lie about this. Like, none at all.
Hold on. This is what I was telling you, Bosi. So I was saying that just because they have 100,000 employees, that doesn't mean 100,000 people was involved in a cover-up or spreading the misinformation. That's foolery. There's many places, like even in the government. My cousin is in the army. Like, there's things that he's not classified to know, even though he's in the army going to do a certain type of mission. So there's a lot of key pieces that are in play that would make this misinformation be spread the way it is.
But Joker, just because, like, I was in the military as well, right? There are things that I was classified for and things that I was not classified for.
That's what I said.
Hold on, hold on. Everybody knows that. But just because that's the case doesn't mean that there's a global conspiracy to lie about us landing on the moon, especially when we have different countries who have competing interests with each other, all confirming that it happened. That would be stupid. There'll be no reason to do that. Hold on. Listen.
Okay.
Listen, bro. There will be no reason for the USSR, who was an enemy of the United States at the time, to confirm that America landed on the moon. They would have called this out as a fake a long time ago. There will be no reason for them to do that. Not only that, there are other countries such as China, such as Japan, such as Vietnam, such as all these other countries who have competing interests with the United States that confirm that, yes, American astronauts landed on the moon. They have competing interests with the United States, bro. There will be no reason for them to do that. Why would they confirm what the United States did if they're enemies of the United States? There'll be no reason to do that.
Wait.
No, hold on. That's what I'm saying to you. The USSR was an enemy of the United States. Why would they say that, yes, the United States beat us to get into the moon? Why would they do that? If it was fake,
they have a global agenda.
But their agendas are not in alignment. Do you understand?
Yes, but behind the scenes, there's a global agenda. Bro,
listen. Do you understand that the leaders of the United States and the leaders of the USSR were enemies at the time? These were not buddies. The motherfuckers didn't get along.
None of them are buddies, but they all get in bed with each other.
All right. So if they're not buddies, if they don't get along, why would they make one agenda? Hold on. If they were not buddies, they don't get along, why would they make one agenda to say that we landed on a big rock? Why would they do that? What would be the point?
Because they have a global agenda to push
What agenda? What agenda?
It's to push this misinformation.
Why? For what?
I don't know the specific purpose.
That's the point here, bro. That's stupid. Why there's no point to saying that. There's no point to have a global agenda to say that we landed on the moon. What would be the point of that? What's the goal? There's no goal there.
How do you know there's no goal?
What? So tell me what the goal is. What would be the goal to say
I
that?
I just told you I don't know what the goal is.
Because that's
so you're just gonna assume.
Because
so let's assume that they actually landed on the moon.
Hold on, bro. Listen to what I'm saying, Joe. There is no benefit to saying that we landed on the moon. There's no benefit at all.
Yes, it is.
What's the benefit?
That you landed on the moon. That you left the Earth.
No. Why would they lie about that? What would be the benefit to lying about that?
Because they want it to be first.
I'm saying, what is that benefit? What does it do?
What do you mean? What does it do? It does whatever it did.
If I wanted to rob you, right? If I wanted to rob you, what I can do is I can look you up. I can see exactly what type of woman you like. I can have that woman then lie to you and then gain access to your information so I can steal all your stuff. That would be a conspiracy for me, right? Because I want to steal let's say you're a billionaire and I want to steal some of your shit. I want to steal like $5 million from you. I would see what type of woman you like. I will have her get you drunk and then I will steal your information from her. She will steal your information and then we will go ahead and take your money. That's a conspiracy, right? That's the benefit. The benefit is I get $5 million. For them to land on the moon and then lie about it, what would be the purpose? What would they need to lie about that? What's the benefits from it?
there's a lot of things that's being hidden that I don't really know why it's being hidden. I don't understand why people lie at all. But that's neither here or there. But there's a lot of things that's there's a lot of things that's been hidden. All right, so let's just move on from that.
You have to go back to what I'm saying. You have to go back to what I'm saying. Why would they need to lie about this? What is their benefit? What is their goal? You already said that you don't know, right? But if we think about it harder, you would know that saying humans landed on a big ass rock that's orbiting us. Where's the benefit coming in from? What did they gain?
That's for the science world to debate. They're trying to worry about that. That's not my world. I'm not worried about that. But the people that are, they know what they're doing. Stop acting like you don't understand this.
But
there's people in the NBA cheating. There's a lot of people
hold on.
Things,
I know
this. Acting like you don't know.
Joker. You're not understanding my position, bro. I understand that there are people who cheat in the NBA. I understand that the government lies, but they do so for a benefit.
Yes, saying but that you're not going to always know what it is.
Joker, wait, stop, listen. When they lie, they do this for a benefit. So what would be the benefit of releasing to the entire planet that we put humans on a big ass rock? What is their benefit here?
All right, you just asked me this question 7 times, and I just told you for the 7th time, I don't specifically know. Can you stop asking me that same question?
Okay, cool. So since you don't know, you would understand. Bro. You understand that claiming that it was faked would be stupid then, because there's no benefit here.
No. From what I see, we weren't talking about why I believe it was fake. You're asking me what would be the benefit of it.
He's just saying the same stuff.
Look, from the facts that I seen, I do believe it was fake.
You don't have any facts, bro. You don't have any facts.
Add something.
How was the flag waving in space?
The flag was not waving in space.
How was it moving?
It wasn't.
It was.
No, it
There's
wasn't.
Plenty video evidence. Why are there no stars in the video?
Because
when they were in space.
Because of the sun.
The sun blocked out all the millions of stars and billions of stars.
Yes.
So not one in the picture.
Yes.
Okay, that's.
Hold on.
I mean, if that's
Joker,
what you believe, that's cool.
Joker, listen to me. Joker, listen to me. You understand that on the moon there's no clouds, right?
Yes, I understand that.
So, like when we're on Earth, the reason why we see stars at night is because the clouds, they filter out the sunlight. But when you're in space, when you're on the moon, there's no clouds. So there's nothing to filter out the light, which is why you understand that one source of light can outshine smaller sources of light. You understand that, right?
Oh yeah, I understand that.
Cool. The other stars, hold on, listen. The other stars are billions of kilometers away. Right?
I got that.
The sun is way closer to us. So that means that the light from that's coming from the sun in space, we would see it better and it will outshine all the other stars. When we're on Earth, the sunlight gets filtered. It gets filtered through the sky, through the clouds, through the atmosphere. It gets filtered out. So now we see more of the stars. But in space, you wouldn't.
Oh, so if we go to space, we're not going to see no stars.
No, not when we're closer to the sun like that. When you're close to the sun like that, you're not going to see the other stars. But if you're
on the moon, you don't see no stars.
When you're on the moon, you don't see any stars. The atmosphere, there's no atmosphere. So that means you're getting the full light of the sun. There's no atmosphere to scatter the light.
I mean, if it makes sense to you, then okay.
I'm not sure how does it not make sense to you. You understand that on Earth we have an atmosphere, and atmosphere scatters light. You understand that, right?
But you just told me if I stand on the moon, I won't see any stars.
You won't see the stars because there's no atmosphere to filter out the light from the sun.
Okay. I mean, if it makes sense to you, I mean,
that doesn't make sense to you?
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Does the moon have an atmosphere?
No, not the same type of atmosphere as Earth.
Hold on, wait. Hold on, listen. The moon does not have an atmosphere, right?
Okay.
Does the Earth have an atmosphere?
Yes.
Does atmosphere scatter light?
I'm not big on lights and how they reflect and all that stuff. I'm just asking
you, does it scatter light? Yes or no?
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say yes.
If it scatters light, then that means that the sun's light, when it reaches the Earth, the light gets scattered. So at nighttime, what happens when that light gets scattered? At nighttime, what's gonna happen? We're gonna see more of the sky, right? Because it's scattering the light.
Okay.
The moon doesn't have that effect, which means when you land on the moon and there's no atmosphere, the light doesn't get scattered, so you're getting the full light of the sun. What happens when what's going to happen if I put a flashlight in your face, but I also turn on the light 10 feet away? If I turn on a light in the room 10 feet away, but I have a flashlight in your face, are you going to see the flashlight or are you going to see the other light?
I can see both.
I have a flashlight.
Have you ever been pulled over by a cop?
Yes. Listen.
And have you seen multiple lights?
Listen. Hold on, Joker. Listen to what I'm saying to you. I have a flashlight right in your face, right here. Yes. Right in your face, like this close. I have a flashlight right there in your face. If I turn on the light behind you, are you going to see that?
Yes.
No, you're not.
Hold on. You're trying to tell me. Hold on. Joker, listen to it. Listen to me again. I won't see the background light.
Listen to me again.
Okay, say it again.
Flashlight in your face, right here, right?
Right here.
It's right here. You see how close it is? Right here.
Yes.
I then turn on a light behind you. Are you going to see that?
Oh, you said behind me.
Are you going to see that?
Where my eyes can see?
Are you going to see it?
I can't see it behind me no matter what.
Cool.
Whether there's a flashlight there or not.
Hold on. I got you.
That didn't make any sense.
Hold on. So the flashlight is in your face right here, right? Right in front of you, right in your eyes, right?
Yes.
I then, to the side of you, 10 feet away, not even 10 feet away, on the side of you, about 100 feet away, in another room, I turn on that light. Are you going to see that?
In another room? Is the other room visible?
Yeah, the other room. Okay, let's say it's not. This is not the another room. Let's say there's a car 100 feet away. I turn on the light inside the car. Are you going to see that with the flashlight right here in your face?
Which way am I? Which way is the car? Are you saying because before you pointed behind your head?
Okay, I was just trying to get you to understand. Listen,
pointed behind your head last
time. I'm explaining this right now.
So where would the car be?
Bro, I'm explaining to you. Be calm.
Okay.
The flashlight is in front of your face right here. The car is 100 feet away to your right. Okay. And inside the car, I turn on a light, but the flashlight is still here right in front of you. Are you going to see that car?
The car that's 100 feet away?
Yeah.
Nah, man. Why would I focus on the car?
Exactly. No, hold on. Listen. It's not about focusing on the car. You're not going to see it because there's a flashlight in front of your eyes right now, so you cannot see it. That's analogous to what's going on when it comes to the. Hold on, wait.
So you're trying to say?
No, hold on, don't jump on. Hold on. You need to.
I'm trying to make you fully explain it.
I'm trying to, but you keep interrupting.
Okay, go ahead.
Listen, this is analogous to what's going on when we're talking about the moon and not being able to see stars. The sun, the light from the sun is so intense, it's so much that the other stars were not able to see them because they're too far away. There's nothing to filter out the light. So it's just like having a flashlight in your eye, but there's a car 100 feet away to your left with a light on. You're not going to see it because the flashlight is in your eye. That's what I mean.
Can I add something?
Go ahead.
Yeah, what we have happening is the guest Joker is still thinking like some of us did 3,000 years ago, and the rest of us did a bit of biology and physics and cosmology, and we have replaced some of that thinking. Where he would be right is if he were to say, well, I say this, we need to take care of nature and respect nature. That's different from what he's arguing. From a non-scientific, bro, Joker, an argument doesn't mean it's negative. It just means you have a premise and conclusion. That's all. It's not a negative. And so what Joker is doing is Bruce Lee versus a white belt. If Joker were to do more learning about science, what might happen is he may come back in a year or so with a different perspective, but I don't think it will happen right now because he's very passionate. Yeah, I'm done.
That's I mean, I can respect that, but as far as doing research, I do my research. I'm not a science head for sure. I'm not a science head, and I don't come up here claiming to talk about something that I don't understand. But the question was, can you give me a good reason to believe in your God? And I told him about worshiping the sun and why it makes so much sense to give thanks to the sun. And he really didn't give me a real reason.
He did,
why.
Joker. I've been on mute for
what was
most
the
of
real
the
reason
time.
that he said?
He gave you. It's just that our thinking.
Because he said the sun isn't conscious.
Joker. If we lived 3,000 years ago, I would probably look at the sky and assume it was a god that could give me some chocolate cake. Fortunately, there's been a
that's not what we
scientific
give thanks to the sun for.
You have less control of your oral skills. It would be good to use your hearing skills more, because then you could learn stuff. There are people listening in the audience also. It's not just us. So I understand why some ancient cultures did think the way you do. And I also know that racism and slavery funded the European scientific age of enlightenment and scientific discovery. But it doesn't mean that the discoveries weren't made that we could benefit from. So I am speculative when it comes to the rights of Western white systems, but I'm not speculative about the hard sciences. They robbed the bank. They found some facts out that we could benefit from in science. And, just look into it more. I don't think you're a terrible, bad person at all. You're passionate. If you could turn that passion into a bit more science, because you're probably under 40, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I'm 61. 61 4 days ago. So as you go on this life journey, you learn a lot if you listen to people more. That's what I found, especially if they're teaching me something. I have a bunch of crayons I get, proverbially, not really, and I just shut up and learn. If you were teaching us, Joker, about your specialty, which might be accounting, I would be quiet and learn about accounting principles and GAAP. But in this case, the host is trying to just show you some stuff, and you probably have a lady and you may have kids. They need you to have as much knowledge as possible. Otherwise, the white system's going to get them also in many ways, okay? That's all I'm trying to say, man. It's all good.
But you have to understand that this system that I'm talking about is not a YT system. It's a system that is older than all of us. Worshiping the sun is not asking the sun to give you anything else than what it's already been giving you. It's giving us the opportunity to grow food and how the sun is connected to our everyday life. So it's not like how religion has took basically the term of God and turned it into financial gain amongst the people who want to give thanks. That's not what any of worshiping the sun has to do that. There's no tithes, no offering.
Hey, Joker.
Do
you know about Akhenaten of Egypt?
No.
Do you know that he worshipped the sun just like you're saying?
Okay.
Yeah, and do you know who his son was?
Who?
King Tut. His wife was Nefertiti. Some of us have actually studied Kemet, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Ma'at, Ma'afa, Trails of Tears, Gullah Geechee Nation, Rasta, Nation of Islam, 5%. Bro, some of us have been on this journey. There are things you could hold on.
No, it's all good. It's all.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was
we are kind of out of time, so I gotta go ahead and keep it moving. Yeah, I gotta keep it moving. But I do appreciate you two being up. Go ahead and come back anytime. I'm bring you back up. Is just that I want to go one-on-one with opposition for now, and then I'll bring people back up. All right. We're gonna talk to Real, and we're gonna talk to 231. First, Real, just clarify for me. Are you at least 18, and do you believe in any type of God?
Yes and yes.
Okay. And 231, are you at least 18, and do you believe in any type of God?
I believe, yes.
Okay.
Yes and yes.
Okay, cool. Be patient for me. All right, Real, thank you so much. Real 18, you said you do believe in a God. Which one would that be, and why do you think I should believe in the same one?
I'm actually a follower of the Golden Order, so I believe in Queen America as the one in the only true God.
Who?
Queen America.
What the hell is that?
I think he's trolling.
Marika, Queen America.
Oh, America, you worship the country. All right, cool.
No, Marika.
Marika.
Yeah.
You talking about this is Elden Ring? I knew this was I knew this was crazy. All right, real. I'll go ahead.
Yeah. She holds the Elden Ring. Yeah.
Yeah, she was okay. Cool. We should also worship the Hylian gods as well. All right, appreciate you, man. Yeah, have a good one.
That was good.
All right, 231. How's it going? Are
Good,
you
brother.
at least you said you are 18 and you believe in a God as well?
Yeah,
Which one? And why do you think I should believe in it?
Well, I believe in God, the Father, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit, and I believe it because it's in the Bible.
Okay.
Simple.
Why should we accept it as the Bible as true?
Well, I think everybody has their own way that they come to that conclusion. I'm not going to be able to convince anybody that the Bible is still, the truth. I just believe it.
Okay, why though?
Yeah. I don't know. It's like an innate feeling within me that it's like just a belief, a faith, it's almost indescribable, to be honest with you. You can feel the truth whenever you've lied to somebody or whenever you've withheld the truth from somebody. You feel like guilty. You feel like knots in your stomach. You know that you're lying. You know that you're doing something bad. So can you explain why that is? I don't think so.
Yeah, empathy.
But empathy, yeah. Can you explain empathy?
Yeah, empathy is the feeling that we get when that bad feeling, that emotion that we get to feel bad for somebody.
Right, but you can't prove that you're feeling empathy. How can you prove it to somebody that you have empathy or that you're even feeling empathy? So it's the same. It's the same premise.
You can prove it through like brain scans and stuff like that.
Okay, sure. Science again. Yeah,
of course, science. I mean, you're using science now, so.
Yeah, I don't discard science. I think science and religion, theology is symbiotic. I just think it gets perverted by atheists and things like that.
I'm not sure how we're perverting it, but sure. I mean, yeah.
I didn't. Sorry, I didn't call you an atheist. I didn't know that you were.
So,
okay.
I want to be sure how we're perverting anything, because science is just a process, right? To understanding the world, and it takes naturalism into consideration. It can't detect anything supernatural, so doesn't have any comment on it. But what I would say when it comes to why to believe in God, or you think that the Bible and Jesus Christ are true and everything like that, I don't see any reason. I don't see any evidence that they are true. So, if do you think that there is evidence?
Do you believe in Christopher Columbus and that he, landed on Plymouth Rock?
Well, Christopher Columbus didn't land on Plymouth Rock. That was the Pilgrims. But when it comes to Christopher Columbus,
either way,
when it comes to Christopher Columbus, we know that he connected. Now he was a terrible person. Okay, that he's a terrible person, but we do know that he connected. That Christopher Columbus, despite being a horrible, shitty person, he did do something incredible where he reconnected two parts of humanity after thousands of years. You know what I'm saying? So,
but how do you know that? Based on books, right?
Yeah,
the only way you would know that.
Yeah, but Christopher Columbus has
right. So it's the same premise with
I'm trying to answer
Christ,
you,
right?
231. Christopher Columbus has contemporary sources, meaning people living at the time confirming that he was alive, and not only that, there's nothing supernatural about Christopher Columbus. Not only that, we have his own journals in his own handwriting, so we know he exists.
Let me pivot then. Alexander the Great. Okay, that guy. Right, but isn't it a little bit supernatural that he was able to conquer so much land and do the things that he did? Wasn't there some kind of supernatural? Joan of Arc, let's go there.
No,
wasn't there something?
No, nothing supernatural about her either. She was just a preacher. Joan of Arc was a preacher. Alexander the Great was a conqueror. Yeah, there were many great conquerors back in those days. Genghis Khan was a good conqueror. What was the other guy's name? Napoleon was a good conqueror. If Toussaint was less trusting of the French, he probably would have conquered the entire island if he wanted to. Yeah, I mean, because Toussaint was a great general. So was Dessalines. I mean,
But they were supernatural. Hold on, they were supernatural feats. Like, let's take David in the Bible as well, right? That was a supernatural feat. Him basically slaying all the giants, Goliath being one of them. You know, what do you believe that David was real?
Yeah, David. We actually have archaeological record of a King David.
We don't have archaeological record of Jesus.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Jesus didn't exist. I don't have no issue of Jesus existing.
So
I'm talking about the supernatural abilities.
But why do you believe everything that's said about David, right? But you written about David, but you don't believe everything that's written about Jesus.
I don't believe everything that was written about David. I think David and Goliath is a very exaggerated story. In matter of fact, it could have been a legendary story as well. Like David and Goliath, right? If it actually did happen, he was just probably fighting someone who's like 6'7" and was able to like dodge him because David was like 5'4", right? It was a small guy. So he was
still big versus little.
He's still a big guy. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So like Goliath was probably someone LeBron James height, and David was probably my height. It was probably like 5'4", but they figured out he was able to figure out a way to get around him and kill him, right?
But why are you saying the word probably?
Hold on. The reason why I'm saying
you're the science guy.
Hold on. The reason why I'm saying probably is because obviously none of us witnessed it. We can only go off of what is written down and the legends around him, and we come up with a probable explanation of what they were talking about. Because they said that that Goliath was a giant, right? But we have no evidence that actual.
Well, there are measurements.
Hold on,
there are measurements in the Bible.
Just finish, bro. I know that there are measurements in the Bible. That's not my argument. What I'm saying is that when it comes to someone like us, them claiming that there were giants, right? We have no evidence that there were people the size of buildings. There's zero evidence of that.
I don't think I said this.
Okay, cool. So the giants that they're talking about were probably someone who was just very, very tall.
Well, no. There's one Bible verse where it says that they went on to I forget which city it was, but they went there and they looked like grasshoppers to them. Now, I don't know. Why would they say grasshoppers?
That could have been just a poetic language.
But hold on a second. You've seen a grasshopper before, correct?
Yeah, it could just be poetic language, bro.
Wait, hold on a second. Wouldn't you look, if you had to compare a 5'8" man to a grasshopper, and the giants looked at the 5'8" man, and it was like a grasshopper, you would imagine that it would have to be a phenomenally tall person, right?
231. 231. Hold on.
You wouldn't go
231. 231. Listen to me. You understand that poetic language. You understand that poetic language exists, right?
Yeah, of course I do.
So that means that someone who's as tall as LeBron James, looking at my mother who's 4'11", way smaller than LeBron James, right? He could be like you're like a, hold on. He could be like you're like a bug to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. It's poetic language. Hold on.
It would be like a gopher.
Come on. Listen, bro.
It wouldn't be a grasshopper.
231. It's called poetic language, bro. It's poetic language.
But it doesn't even make any sense.
It does make sense. Hold on. Listen. It does make sense. You ever heard the term "I can crush you like a bug"? You ever heard that term?
I have heard that term. Yes.
Okay. That's usually said by someone who's very, very big talking to someone who's smaller than them.
Is that right?
Yeah. It doesn't mean that the person is literally bug size. It's just poetic language. Just mean that I'm more powerful than you. That's all it is. So when you look at that type of language in the Bible, and we know that the Bible has lots of poetic language in it, do you think that this was a literal thing where they were so big that the person was as small as a grasshopper? No, it's just poetic language.
I just don't understand. Well, do you know the Bible verse that I'm speaking about?
I'm kind of familiar with it, but here's hold on.
Let's.
So
before we go any further,
wait.
Have you even read the Bible at all?
I've read the Bible.
I'm asking.
I've read the Bible.
Listen,
okay. Listen, 231. What I'm saying is that I understand what the Bible says, right? But the thing is, you're taking a lot of these as literal when we know that much of the Bible was written poetically.
I don't metaphorically, perhaps. I don't know about poetically. Yeah, metaphorically.
Yeah, that's what I mean. A lot of these things were just parables.
But that's different than poetically, isn't it?
No,
That's a
not
different
necessarily.
definition.
Not necessarily.
It's not.
No, not necessarily.
I think it's a different
Who
definition.
cares? Who cares? You know exactly what I mean.
Well, I care. You're the science guy. It has to be either yes or
You
no.
know- you
or it
know
has to be up or down, or it has to be.
2 3. Stop.
Right?
Stop being disingenuous.
stopping.
You know
Stopping.
exactly what I mean, bro. You know exactly what I mean. So stop all that.
Okay.
Listen,
I do
let's
know
move-
exactly what you mean.
Okay, cool. So
Mhm.
we know that this was metaphorical or poetic language. It doesn't mean that they were literally the size of grasshoppers. All right. So what I what I want to move on to is that yes, I understand
Sure.
that there were some people in the Bible who were real. Cool. That doesn't make the supernatural stories true.
Okay. Why not?
There's no evidence of anything supernatural.
I mean, it's written documentation, right? That's not.
The
so,
Odyssey,
like,
would
okay,
you
so
think the
if-
Odyssey? Would you think the Odyssey has written documentation?
It is written, correct? Yeah.
Okay,
It is
so
written.
in the Odyssey, it says that Achilles and Helen of Troy are real people. You really think that Achilles and Helen of Troy are real people?
I wouldn't have any reason not to think that.
They weren't real people, bro. Any Greek
Oh, they weren't.
historian,
Okay.
any Greek historian will tell you these were just characters in a story.
Okay. If that look, if that's
So-
what you say, that's what you say. But
So
there's
you
no way that
understand?
can-
You understand that
just because
somebody
somebody's
you understand that
Uh-huh.
somebody writing a story down doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean that the characters or any of that story is true. You don't believe Harry Potter is real, do you?
but hold on now. Harry Potter is obviously a fictional character.
Right.
I mean,
Right. So the
because
way
they
the
told
way,
us that it's
the way
fictional
that
character.
the way that we see Harry Potter is the exact same way that the Greeks saw Achilles. It's only today where people are arguing about Achilles being real or not. Achilles wasn't real. The Greeks saw Achilles as Harry Potter. It was just a legend.
I mean, there's no way that I can prove to you that he was real, and there's no way that you can prove to me that he wasn't real. So this
Which-
is a
which one you talking about, Achilles?
stalemate. Yeah, Achilles.
Yeah,
The same as
I go off of-
Jesus.
I go
the
off
same
of-
as the same as
I
anybody. right?
I go off of Greek historians, the ones who have spent their
Sure.
entire lives studying the culture, studying
I
ancient
agree.
Greece, studying the language. When they look at all these, they say the Odyssey is a legendary story. Helen of Troy wasn't real. Achilles wasn't real. Now, the Battle of Troy did happen, but the characters within it are probably not real. Or are definitely not real.
Probably.
Yeah,
Okay, there you go.
like
Okay.
for example,
I'm just making sure.
Achilles and Helen are definitely not real, but the like Prince Hector is more of a probably there.
Wait, Prince
yeah,
Hector's
Jesus-
a probably.
Jesus, yeah, Prince
Right.
Hector's a probably, but Helen of Troy and
So
Achilles are
why
definitely
can't-
not real. So
How do you know? How can you say Prince Hector's a probably and then
Hector's
say
a probably.
Achilles is not a probably also?
It's definitely
Why
not.
don't you say that he's a pro? How do you know this?
I'm just telling you what the Greek historians are telling me.
Oh, which Greek historians? No problem. I'm supposed to believe them for everything. No problem. That's fine. Which ones? Which one is the Messiah of history?
Why would you call it they're not the Messiah of history? What are you talking about?
I'm just
No one
I'm
is-
just joking. I'm joking.
All
I'm
right,
joking
great.
a little bit.
All right, cool. So go ahead
Trying
and
to keep it light so
all
we
right,
don't
cool. All right,
argue or anything.
I got you. All right, cool. So when it comes to Jesus, I have no problem him being a real person. The problems that I have is around the supernatural elements of the story because we can't
Right.
prove those to be true. And there's plenty of stories throughout history that had real people but supernatural elements around them.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. So what you don't believe about Jesus is that he resurrected, basically, is what you're saying. But you believe all the other stuff.
And none of the magic
Now,
stuff. I
you
believe.
don't. You don't believe the turning water into wine and all the other miracles that he did. You don't
No,
believe in that.
I don't believe any of the magic. No,
Okay. Okay. It's not magic, by the way.
it's magic.
No, it's not magic. Well, apparently you don't believe in it, so it
It's
can't be
magic.
magic. Can it? How can it be magic if you don't believe in it?
Magic is literally like something to use to manipulate the natural world through supernatural means, which is what Jesus is
Wait,
doing.
but you don't believe in that stuff.
I
this
know
is
I don't.
silly.
I do not believe in it. That's why I called it magic.
So you can't. Okay. All right. I'm gonna stop beating that drum.
You understand that I can give you a definition of something doesn't mean that I think is true. Like I give you the description. that doesn't mean
No,
I
it's
think
fine.
true.
I'm just basing this conversation on the fact that you are very science oriented.
Right.
So it's got to be either
me
like
describing
fact
something as
or
magic. Me
non-fact.
describing something as magic does not mean I think that magic is true. That's silly.
I agree that it is silly.
All right,
yeah.
great. So why are you asking me why am I saying that? Because I don't believe in magic. That's kind of dumb. So yes, I don't believe that Jesus did magic.
Okay. All right. Got it. But you do believe in magic?
No.
Oh, wait. Like tarot card readers or something like this? You don't
No,
believe
none
in
of
them?
that is true. Psychics aren't
What
real.
about
None of that's true.
what about chakras and your
No, none of that's true.
all that stuff? None
No
of it.
magic. I don't believe in magic. None of that's true.
No magic. No magic.
No, I don't believe any of that's true. All right. We can't ball our hands together, say Kamehameha, and shoot out plasma from our fingertips and become Super Saiyan. All right. None of that is true. All right.
Is that how you do it?
I can't say Kage.
Kamehameha.
I can't say Kagebushi no Jutsu and have a whole bunch of copies of me. We can't do that.
Are you for real? Are you
Yes, for
sure?
real. Oh, that's magic.
Oh, okay.
All right. I can't shoot fireballs out of my hand like
Wait a
Fire Lord
minute.
Ozai.
I thought you were
all right?
gonna say something else.
We're not Ozai. We're not Avatar Aang. We're not Frieza. We're not Goku. We're not Superman. We none of us can do that.
Yeah, I agree. None of us can do that, but there is one person that did do that, and who
Okay, sure,
can
prove it.
still do that, and that's Jesus
Sure,
Christ,
prove
Lord
it.
and Savior.
Prove it.
Amen.
Can you prove it?
I just have faith, bro. I
Is
just
faith-
have faith.
You sure that faith is reliable?
I can't prove it.
Hold on.
That's correct. I
Is
can't
faith-
prove it.
Is faith reliable?
I believe it is. Yes.
Do you believe in the sun god Amun Ra?
No, I don't think so. I don't.
The
I don't
Egyptians
think
didn't.
that
They had faith in him,
I don't think he's a good guy.
right? But the Egyptians believed that the sun was Amun Ra.
But at the same time, it doesn't mean that I don't believe
231,
that
231,
there are
231.
other gods.
I need
I
you
do
to
believe that
I
there are-
need you to follow
Go
me and understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
The ancient
I'm-
Egyptians believed that the sun was Amun Ra.
I understand what you're
I'm
saying.
trying to
They were
finish.
following
I'm
a
trying
false
to
god.
finish. You need to understand my point first.
Okay.
So they believe that he was Amun Ra, right? The sun was Amun Ra sitting up in his bed. Is the sun a dude with an eagle sitting up in his bed?
No, I don't.
Right.
I don't know.
It's not.
I don't know.
So the sun is not a dude with an eagle for a head sitting up in his bed. That's not the truth, right? But they had faith in it.
Mm-hmm.
So you understand what I mean by faith now, right? It can lead you to wrong conclusions.
Unless you're following the correct faith, right?
How do
Then
you
it
know
doesn't.
yours is correct? What do you do?
I have a feeling. I can't prove it to you, bro.
Exactly.
Like, I'm sorry.
Can you be?
But you don't believe in. But you don't believe in anything.
231.
Yo, you don't believe in anything.
231. Listen. Can your feeling about something be incorrect?
Of course. We
Right.
make mistakes all the time.
Yeah, all right, cool. So feelings is not something good to go off of. What do we do to actually show this is true? What do we do?
Mhm. Let me ask you this question: Are you married or something?
Yeah.
Do you have kids?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. You love your wife, correct?
Yep.
Prove it.
Prove that I love my wife?
Yeah, prove it.
Yeah, tell me someone who's messing with her or who hurt her and I'll go kill them.
Oh, that's how you prove it with murder.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I tell you
The
that
murder is the proof of love.
and I tell you that I love her, and not only that, you can hook me up to a machine and you can see which parts of my brain light up whenever I think
All
about it.
right. So again, the machine thing. Got it. Look, that's fine, right? So we could do a lie detector test,
Mhm.
and you could ask me if I have faith in Jesus Christ that He died on the cross and
don't have a
resurrected on the
problem.
third day to save us.
231. I don't think you
Hold on,
understand.
let me
I think you
You
understand
don't.
where I'm coming from. I think
I
you
let
understand
you
where I'm coming
finish. You never let me finish. Okay, it's not a problem.
But this doesn't really address my point. I understand where you're coming from. I do know that you're telling the truth that you believe in Jesus. I do know you're telling the truth about that. I didn't say I didn't believe you. But
Oh.
what I'm saying is that what you believe that Jesus rose from the dead is that part true. I understand that you believe it.
I do
understand that
believe
I understand that you believe that's true. I understand that. What I'm trying to say is that actually true? Did it actually happen?
Well,
'Cause those
in
are-
the Bible
those are
it
two
says there were
different things.
500 witnesses. In the Bible it says there were 500 witnesses for over 40 days
Mhm.
that He
I know it
was
says
with them after the crucifixion.
Yeah,
So,
I know it says that.
I don't know.
How do we show
Okay.
that's true? I know it says that.
Well, how do we
that's
show that Christopher Columbus landed on not Plymouth Rock, wherever he landed.
Yeah, he landed in the Bahamas. We have his writings. We have the records of the people who were
Right,
alive
but
at
you
the
have
time.
these writings.
Hold on.
You have these writings that you don't believe in. They're both writings.
Listen.
I'm listening.
Jesus didn't write anything, bro. Christopher Columbus did.
That's
the difference.
Hold on a second. Hold on. There were disciples that were following Jesus, and Jesus told them to write, like the disciple John, Mark,
John,
Luke,
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are
Matthew,
anonymous.
Mark, and Luke. Right. Well, hold on. They're anonymous.
They're anonymous.
Are you joking?
I'm not joking. They're anonymous.
You got to be joking me.
I'm not joking. They're anonymous.
Okay.
Matthew,
then
Mark,
Christopher
Luke,
Columbus is anonymous. I don't know.
He's not, because he wrote it and he signed his name, so it's not anonymous. Matthew,
okay.
Mark, Luke, and John are
so a signature
anonymous.
is what. So you need a signature. You needed a Matthew signature.
I'm not sure.
That would be cool, by the way.
Matthew signature.
That would be cool, actually.
Yeah, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are completely anonymous. Hold on, you want me to show you?
Sure. Go ahead. I mean, I'm not going to believe you either way. That's the whole thing, and you're not going to believe me either way. That's the funny part about this conversation. You know, no matter how far we go into this.
Can you read that?
Can you make it a little bigger?
Sure.
Thanks. So this is Google AI. Got it. Matthew, hold on. The consensus among mainstream biblical scholars is that the four. It's
canonical.
Now I need it smaller. Well, why don't you read it, you silly Willy? You got it.
Yes,
right
the consensus among mainstream biblical scholars is that the four canonical gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, were originally written anonymously. None of the authors essentially identify themselves within the body of the text.
Okay.
All right, and that's just according to historical scholars.
Yeah, but okay, which historical scholars though?
Okay, there's Bart Ehrman.
Like what you said before, like
there's
let
Bart
Ehrman.
You asked me a question, now I'm answering it. You don't want me to answer.
Yeah.
So there's Bart Ehrman. I think Mike Lacona as well, if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on that. There's Dan McLennan, who's also another biblical scholar. He's on this app as well. He's on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a couple. I can't name them all by name, but there's a few.
What I'm saying to you, brother, is like, does that, like, just because those quote unquote biblical scholars, maybe they have a separate agenda. Maybe they have an agenda to dispute, what they wrote in the Gospels. You don't know that, right? They could have that agenda. Maybe they were paid $20,000 to write this piece to become a scholar, right? You don't know that.
You understand that's not how scholarship works, right?
You don't understand how this world works, by the way.
I understand.
We're being lied to about every single thing, every single time.
I understand how this world works. I understand that governments lie.
I don't think so, bro.
That you can not think so all you want. We know that governments lie. The government lied about cigarettes for years, so we know, right?
That is correct. They lied about. Well, what about COVID?
Let me finish. They didn't lie about COVID. But when it comes to this, right? When it comes to biblical scholarship, there is no reason to say, because the majority of the world who actually holds a religion, the majority religion is Christianity. There is no reason to say that it's anonymous. If they wanted to make money, they wouldn't say that, because the richest people on the planet happen to be prosperity preachers.
Right. I'm not saying that those people are telling the truth either. They're probably not telling the truth, to be honest with you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So they will make more money confirming the gospel than not confirming the gospel. So saying that they're doing it for money is silly.
No, but like, yes. It's not out of the realm of possibility, is it? Or is it?
I mean, scientifically. Is it out of the
realm? My hypothesis. Of course. My hypothesis is that these scientific leaders, took money.
Of course, it's not out of the realm of possibility. No one said it's not possible, right? We're talking about what's probable, because it's possible that pigs fly out of my ass, but it's not probable, is it? So we're talking about what's probable. What will probably happen? Because if there's more money in confirming the gospel than going against it, then why won't, if they're doing this for money, why would they not just go ahead and confirm the gospel and get more money? You can get off mute now.
Sorry. Did you pause my mic?
Yes.
That's fine if you did. Okay. Yeah, if you want to let somebody else on here, look, I like you. I think you're very smart. I like, the idea of science. I don't deny it. I just think you're lacking in belief and faith. Like you don't have any trust in anybody. I don't know what happened to you as a kid or how you were raised or I don't know something, but you don't have.
Do me a favor. Don't assume my life. Just because I don't have faith doesn't mean anything happened to me. Don't do that. All right, because I didn't do that for you. I didn't say for you to believe something must have happened to you, did I? So don't do that. All right. You think you think you could do that? You can think you could not do that? Go ahead and get off mute. You think you can not do that?
Yes. Now that you told me, I won't do it again. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. All right, so cool. Yeah, I don't think I don't have any faith in the supernatural. I think faith is a bit unreliable. We should go off something that's more demonstrable. Now, I don't have an issue with faith having room for things. I'm pretty sure there's going to be something. If we go down a list of things, there's going to be something that I just got to say, all right, I don't know that for sure, but I believe it without any evidence. Right? I'm pretty sure if we go down the list of things, there's going to be something that I have to take that I believe without evidence, right? Like we're all like that, right? Like hope for some people can be faith, right? And I do have hope that humanity can get better because we've seen humanity do better before. So yeah, I have hope in humanity. And if you want to call that faith, fine. I don't have any issue with that. But when it comes to things that are supernatural, ghosts, demons, spirits, people rising from the dead, there's no reason for me to. I don't think there's any reason for me to believe that.
Okay. Look, it hasn't been presented to you yet. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm in my 30s.
I'm 48. Oh, you're 30s? 30, somewhere in the 30s? Okay. It's funny. Only reason I laugh at that is because when I was 30, I also wanted to forget my age because I was like, I'm getting older. This sucks. But
the knees ain't kneeing the way they used to. I'll tell you that much. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're doing good. But look, you're asking the right questions. I like your live. I think it's fun. I definitely think you're definitely smart for 100%. Probably smarter than me 100% because I'm only 100 IQ. And that's average, by the way. I want you to know this because I've been tested, but
yeah, I got tested a few times, but I don't really trust IQ test that much, but because IQ tests depend a lot on your nutrition, the way you're educated, stuff like that. So like IQ tests can really only tell you, how good you do on tests. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like for me, I've gotten like anywhere between 115 to 131. You know what I'm saying? So like
I could definitely see that. Yeah, for sure. I could definitely see that. Look, you're very scientifically minded. You just again, you told me not to say this, but you just don't believe in anything. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy to me. Well, you don't believe in anything?
I would say I don't believe in anything supernatural, like
but you don't,
ghosts and demons and stuff like that. But like belief in.
I didn't say that. I didn't say ghosts or demons. I'm just saying you don't believe in a higher power. You don't believe in that. What happens to us when we pass away? It's just darkness.
Yeah, we die. So that means that we need to make
all of this was for nothing. So all of this thought, this conversation was for what? For nothing?
Oh, like ultimately? No, the universe doesn't care. But we can still give each other that meaning. Like me talking to you and everything like that. Like I can take from you, you can take from me. It can still be a meaningful exchange. But
I enjoyed this exchange.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
So our enjoyment is that. I mean, so at the end of the day, there's still meaningful things in that, right? Us just enjoying conversations with each other. That's fine. You know what I mean? But like ultimately at the end of for the people who's on my StreamYard, I got y'all. Give me one moment, okay? But yeah, for the ultimate meaning of the universe, or the end, I don't. There's no meaning in that, right? But that doesn't matter. I'm saying we still enjoy each other as humanity. Now, give me one second. 231.
Yeah, take your time.
Lawrence, I promise I'm gonna get to you. It's just that Lisa wants to say something, and then we're gonna go get out of here. Lisa, after you say what you're gonna say, I'm gonna go ahead and drop you because I like to go
Yeah, you like to go one-on-one. No worries. All right. God bless. Thank you.
No, wait, hold on, wait. Lisa wanted to say something. Lisa, what did you want to say?
Oh, she wants to say something to me?
Well, the only thing I needed to say was that Lawrence is saying that belief is a thing, and literally facts are a thing. So you can believe in whatever you want to, right? You have your right to believe in whatever you want to, but there are facts, there's evidence, there is
for sure
everything so there is nothing about a belief. Just because I believe unicorns are real doesn't make it true.
Do you believe unicorns are real?
Gotcha. So you're trying to respond to Lawrence. Not a problem. All right, 2, 3, 1. I gotta go ahead.
Drop me. Go ahead.
No. Okay. Please stay in the comments. All right, please stay. All right, so 2, 3, 1. I appreciate you. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Lawrence for a moment. Okay.
Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna follow you, and hopefully we can jump on a live together at another point in time.
Not a problem.
God bless you. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
All right, Lawrence, give me 1 second. I promise I'm gonna get to you. All right, so I do see Vincent in my StreamYard, and I see Check the Scriptures in my StreamYard as well. You guys, please be patient with me. There is someone in front of you. His name is right here. He's Lawrence. Lawrence, I'm gonna get to you in 1 second. Shout out to everybody who's watching me from the Bash channel. If you're watching me over on Bash, thank y'all so much. The link is pinned for you to join. If y'all I'm not seeing the comments right now, so I'm not gonna be able to see what you guys are saying. But if you would like to join in on the conversation, the link is pinned. You can go ahead and join me there. If you're watching me over from the Volsy Thoughts channel, once again, thank you as well. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and put a give goal up. We can go ahead and keep on talking. Put a give goal up once again, guys. The link is pinned for you to join tiny.cc/Volsy Live. And if you're watching me over on the Deconstruction Junction, big win on those numbers. Thank y'all so much. Keep tapping the screen, keep liking. We're gonna go ahead and keep this going. If you're watching me over on Twitch, thank you for joining me over there as well. Appreciate you. We're gonna go ahead and move on. Vincent and Check the Scriptures. I'm gonna get to you guys next. I just have Lawrence on the stage, and then we're gonna go ahead and talk to him, and I'll get to you guys. All right, Lawrence, how's it going? Your time to shine. Are you at least 18? And which do you think you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Yeah, I'm 18, man. As far as my personal thing is, it just all really boiled down to belief, ultimately. And like what her name, Miss Lisa, like what she was saying was about, it's really just about facts, but facts change. You know what I'm saying? Facts change just like, and the reason why I say facts change is because we live in a society as far as, they make laws, right? Mm-hmm. From year to year, laws change. From, presidents change, senators change. So if you live in a time, you could say, oh, all right, well, right now the president is Donald Trump. A couple of years ago, it was Obama. That was the fact. You understand what I'm saying? So facts do change. So what I'm saying is,
so what I would say, is that information does change, right? Information does change, and information can be facts. Like it's a fact that Obama was the president. It's a fact that Biden was president. It was a fact that Trump was president, right? Now, is it a fact that I was president? No, that's not a fact. That's never going to change, right? Unless in 10 years I do become president. But like right now, if I were to say that in 2012 Volsy was president, that would be incorrect. That's not a fact. Obama was president in 2008 and 2010. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what we mean by when that's why I would say be careful about saying facts change, because it's like me being president in 1969 is not a fact. I was born in 87. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a fact. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that cannot change. You see what I mean? So, but I do understand what you mean by that, how information can update. When we find out more information, then we have to update our models and our theories and everything like that. Sure.
In our theory. And as far as like as far as the guy situation, like I understand, I listen to you all the time, by the way, but as far as the guy situation, like I do agree with you as far as I'm a believer, by the way. But I do agree with you as far as there is no physical evidence that God exists, right? Mm-hmm. But the physical evidence for me is, and people may say it's a selfish thing, right? But the physical evidence for me is the things that I see taking place, not only in my life, right, but in the lives of other people. I do see, for instance, miracles working in the lives of my life and in the lives of other people's lives who choose to believe. Now, whether you choose to believe or not, I feel like, you know, the same thing, whether you choose to believe or not, is on that individual.
Yeah. Here's what
I
I would
don't
say.
feel like they're condemned either way.
I got you. Here's
That's
what I
my
would say,
personal
right?
belief.
Whenever people say choose to believe, I always say that you can't really choose that. Like, I can't truly choose to believe that Santa Claus exists, right? Because I have no proof that Santa Claus exists and I know it's a legend. Or I can't really choose to believe that there's a pink unicorn on Pluto right now. Like, I can't choose to believe that because I'm just not convinced that's true. You know what I mean? So when it comes to the whole God thing, right? Me not being convinced it's true. It's not me choosing not to believe it. I physically can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't believe something that I'm not convinced of. But the other thing that I would say is that, yeah, it does sound a little selfish. I'm not gonna go after you on it. I would ask you to think about this. Why are miracles working in your life, but the children in the Congo who are probably being abused by the adults around them, who are also praying for their miracles, are not getting those miracles? What's so special about us getting miracles, and the people who are some of the most innocent of our planet, children, do not get those miracles? Why would that be the case? Because they can use the same thing that you're saying to say that God doesn't exist, and because they're not getting miracles.
Right. And see, my whole thing is that, like, a lot of people, they just go off of like I would say the Bible, right? But I feel like the universe is bigger than what we think. I feel like it's not just you can't just go off of one book. You can't just go off of whatever, right? Energy never dies. It just transfers. So what I would say is we don't die. Like, our spirits don't die. Our souls don't die. And reincarnation, I do believe that reincarnation is a real thing. So when a person would ask me, why would a child suffer? Why would that happen to a child, right? So I would say karmic debt. Now a person might look at me and be like, all right, well, why would that happen to a child, right? I would reply, probably karmic debt. They probably did something in the previous life that wasn't pleasing, right? Not even to what we would call God or what we would call whatever, but to the universe, to whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or however you want to say it.
That
would be my response.
I would still have major problems with that, because at the end of the day, even if resurrection was, even if let's say reincarnation is true, right? You did something bad in a past life, and in this new life, now you suffer. At the end of the day, you're a new life with a new person, with new experiences, and et cetera, et cetera. Why should you suffer for something a past life did? It's not the same person. You know what I'm saying? So it makes no sense to me that because to me, that's something called like the just world hypothesis, which is just not true. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, why does a baby need to get cancer? Are we going to say that in their past life they were a horrible person, so they're born in this new life with suffering cancer and they're a baby? That makes no sense to me. You know what I mean? So it's like, even when it comes to karma and stuff like that, and not only that, we don't even for me, when it comes to like karma and stuff like that, like we see that, like, in this world, in this planet right now, there are people who do horrid things that they just get away with it. Look at Elon Musk. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the terrible person, but he's the wealthiest man on the planet. Became a trillionaire for a few days. You know what I'm saying? Nothing horrible is going to happen to him. So it's just one of those things where it's kind of like a coping mechanism. Within the day, they're gonna get theirs in their next life. But if that is true, their next life is a brand new person. I mean, there's no reason to punish that brand new person for something that happened in another life.
And that's why I say, like, energy never dies; it only transfers. So if spirit is really just energy, and that energy never died, it only transferred to a new body, that would explain it. You understand? It's just a new body that spirit is being born into, being resurrected into.
Yeah, we can say that have big problems punishing a whole new person for something somebody else did.
and there's many cases that's been documented of even kids, you know what I'm saying, recalling their past lives, or recalling how they died in the past life, or recalling what happened or what took place, or even hundreds of years ago, you know, even from the 1800s, they was calling, you know, recalling how they passed away or what took place. There's many documentations.
Yeah, yeah.
of
Yeah. I know about those things, right? They,
Mhm.
you know, they're here and there on whether they're true or not. But the thing is, my entire thing is, I don't really see any really good evidence for reincarnation. But giving to you that it may be true, or that it is true, I still have major problems with the concept of karma. Yeah, I mean, that's something that I just have an issue with. But
Okay.
other than that, did you want to talk about anything else?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you about. I know you're big into science, right?
Mhm.
So you know who Jack Parsons is, right?
Jack
The
Parsons?
guy who, yeah, if you could look him up right quick, he was. I know the last guy you were speaking to, you said that you really didn't believe in like occultism, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you look up who Jack Parsons was, he met a guy who was in the occult, right? And he was big into like the occult or whatever. And before he met this guy, he was working with, they basically founded like a part of NASA as far as like building rockets and whatnot. So I just figured he basically dedicated his life to like the occult, and he credited the occult to helping him with his scientific progress, with his progression in the science. So what do you think? I would just want to ask you, what do you think about that?
I mean, that happens. There are scientists who are religious. There are scientists who believe in, you know, fairly out there things. Yeah, sure. Now, does that make the out there things true? No, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't have a big issue with scientists having like a private life of belief, right? That's just something that's going to happen.
Gotcha.
Yeah, sure. But I don't think what he thought was true is actually true. But if he said this helped him out with his science and everything like that, like, all right, cool. Yeah, that's not a problem. Sure.
Well, it was nice talking to you, brother. I think you're a very intelligent dude, bro. I enjoy your conversations when you're talking to other people, bro. And I do be in here listening, you know, and I enjoy your conversation, bro. I learn from you. So,
hey, man, I appreciate
talking to you.
You too, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Come back later. All right, have a good one.
For sure.
All right, guys. I do appreciate y'all for being here. We're gonna go ahead and keep it rolling. We're going to bring to the stage Vincent. Yeah, there we go. Vincent, thank you so much. HNIC, you'll be right. You're in a queue, HNIC. Okay, you're after Check the Scriptures, who's also in my queue. All right, so Vincent, how's it going, Vincent? Are you at least 18, and do you think you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
I'm doing so and so. Let's say I'm 22, so yeah, I'm of age.
All right, great. Do you think you could give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Reason, I don't know. I could give you evidence pointing towards it. You know, right now I'm kind of also struggling with my faith.
Okay.
So
what evidence do you think that is?
So, you know, I'm a realist. So the Bible is quite honestly not enough for me. You know, as there's many stories in the Bible which are quite gruesome, in my opinion. Also, there's, you know, other books around like the stories of Buddha, etc. So what I look to are real events, you know, that are documented in some way. I think right now there's two things which are in some way documented for me. The first would be the hour of darkness at the time of Jesus' crucifixion. And the second one would be the Shroud of Turin. Maybe we can talk about those two.
All right. I think I've heard the hour of darkness during the crucifixion. If I'm not mistaken, there's there's some time issues with that. But when it comes to the Shroud of Turin, I'm a little bit more familiar with that. The Shroud of Turin has already been shown to be like a 13th century artifact, hasn't it?
The Shroud of Turin, there has not been that much research done on it,
No,
but
there
there
actually
has
was.
been
There's been tons of research on it.
there has been, yeah, but how would I put it? It's the research done on it is very singular, so to say, as in like there hasn't been like 10 groups researching one specific thing about it. It's more so like one person wants to research, for example, how the blood stains are, you know, one person wants to research how old it is, etc. And then there's maybe a couple of people who have done that, but it's not like a big amount, you know. But
If I'm not mistaken, the Shroud of Turin has been studied like tons of times. As a matter of fact, let me see. How many times has the Shroud of Turin been tested? Let me see. It's been tested to various tests since 1978. I didn't even know it was that it was been tested since then. Yeah, but since 1978, they've been testing it over and over and over again, and every single time they test it, it's an artifact from like the 12th or 13th century. I think from around 1200 to 1300. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, like it's the shroud is not really something. I mean, like from what we from what we've been able to see from scientific testing, it's is not really something that's a supernatural like cloth, right? It's been here for, it's like more of an artist piece than an actual real thing.
it's a little difficult to tell because the dating that has been done on it, well, there were multiple methods which were used. The one which refers it to the 1300s primarily would be carbon dating.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I'm a believer in carbon dating, but the Shroud of Turin is like a heavily contaminated object. You know, it's been through church fires, it's been touched and kissed by multiple people, so it's got a lot of new carbon on it, you know. But
right, but even with that, it wouldn't really show that the parts of it that were not damaged, or the parts of it that they can study, it still dates back to that, around that time. I think the earliest that they found it was probably around like what 60 or 70 BCE, not BCE, CE, or I think the earliest was like about 55 CE. You know what I mean? That's still a little bit more after than Jesus died, but like these are around the time where they're finding that the shroud was made. So the thing is, the shroud doesn't really show us anything. That's my point. It doesn't really show us anything.
I would say the the age of it is still a thing of debate. You're correct. There's studies like carbon dating which show 1300s. Then there's other study methods used, like comparing its linen to other linens found, but those methods are not really tested and such. So there's various results, you could say. The official position of the church with the Shroud of Turin in the aging is still that it's a thing of scientific debate. Also with many things about the shroud, even if there's real blood on it, etc. I think one very interesting thing about the Shroud of Turin is the image that is on it. So the Shroud Research Project, that is the one from 1978, which was combined of multiple sorts of researchers. They came to the conclusion that that image has, first of all, it's not of artistic origin. So they went through like every single method they know of, you know, like painting, sculpturing, even acid or burning, and it all doesn't match what we find.
Who did this?
The Shroud Research Project was, I think it was maybe like 70 scientists in total. There were also like NASA analysts under them and stuff.
Yeah, Shroud of Turin was a U.S. scientist conducted the first in-depth scientific exam in 1978. Yeah, they found that let me see. Okay. So yeah, there's still ongoing research, but they in 1978 it said theirs was like it was physically unexplained until the 1988 one said that it dates back to the 1300s. I mean, so yeah, there's not the difference. But you think that the shroud like was some sort of miracle, or you think that that one is true? That it was actually Jesus' thing?
Well, the thing is that the image on the shroud has very particular properties which are not even remakeable, you know, with our technology today of particle accelerators and everything. There have been multiple. That is actually true. Like there have been multiple attempts of remaking it, but not a singular attempt could actually make every single one of those properties of that image appear.
Yeah, I mean, you can actually duplicate it. That actually has been saying that that you can duplicate it partially, right? But whatever technique they use to make this is probably the ingredients and stuff like that's probably lost of time. So we probably don't know, but I don't think that would show that it's of a supernatural origin just because we can't all fully recreate something that was made in medieval times. Like we don't have a lot of that information, do we?
I agree, but I think, you know, saying that the technique has been lost to time is very unlikely. I once talked to a person who said, well, you know, the people back then, they built the pyramids, you know, and we don't know how they built those pyramids either, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, we can build pyramids today with our technology.
Right.
We cannot make that shroud today with our technology. That is the thing, which is.
But that's the thing. Like, yeah, we can make pyramids today, and we actually do know how they made the pyramids back then. But with the shroud, yeah, we can duplicate. There are things that we cannot duplicate from ancient times. Like, for example, Greek fire, right? Greek fire, we have no idea how the Greeks did that. So we can't replicate that from ancient times, but that doesn't mean that Greek fire was suddenly supernatural, is it? We just lost the ingredients for it. Right. So it's the same thing with the shroud. It doesn't necessarily have to be supernatural. We just lost the ingredients to it.
I agree. I think there would also be a valid standpoint from the current research that has been done on it. The thing is that the image on the shroud has very, you know, particular properties, which are kind of impossible for the people to have made back then by the methods which they had, you know.
I mean, not necessarily if we're able to carbon-date it to that time, right? So it's I don't know, man. It's just that the shroud is very, very dubious. Yeah, I mean, I understand that you'll take it more as miraculous, and that's the thing of Jesus, but it's more of for me. Yeah, I mean, it looks more like an art piece. But do you think that's a good reason to believe that Jesus resurrected? Just the shroud?
I think the shroud, you know, if it has the supernatural imprint, if that is actually the case, then combined with it being the actual burial cloth of a person or of Jesus, I think that would indicate a supernatural event happening to the burial cloth of a person, like a resurrection event, you know.
Mhm.
But you know, you ask me, do you have any, you know, proof or reason for me to believe in God? That's why I said I have evidence pointing, you know, towards it, but it's not necessarily proof, you know. As I said, I'm struggling as well, but
I kind of take those two as
yeah.
the same thing, but I don't think the shroud is very good evidence because of how contested that it is. Like, if it was something where, you know, the scientific field was that concluded that there's nothing there's no way to physically explain this, like the entire field were to say there's nothing to physically explain this, we may have detected something supernatural. If that was the case, then I would lean more towards that, right? I'll be like, okay, there's something here, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, Jesus, but there is something here, at least, right? But because it's so highly contested, and from the testing that we made on it, it seems to have come from the 12th or 13th century. Then I don't think that's something that we can go off of, really. All right, we're down to about 2 minutes. I'm not sure if you want to talk about anything else, because I gotta go ahead and move on to check the scriptures and then HNIC on my thing. I do see the other people who requested, guys, but I'm going with opponents for now, and then we can talk more later. All right, but yeah, Vincent, did you want to have anything else?
Maybe I can share what I have discovered while researching the shroud real quick, which is, I think, a very, very good thing to know when you're researching things like this, or in general inquiring in scientific study. So one thing I've discovered with the shroud is that you should not you know, Google, is there blood on the Shroud of Turin, and then just take the first Google answer as like the truth, you know, or even go on a scientist's homepage and take their research conclusion as the truth. The reason I could give for that, for example, would be there has been the question if the Shroud of Turin was like painted, you know, if there's pigments in it. And then there was a researcher who did research on it, and what he did is he used duct tape and put duct tape over the top of the shroud, pulled it off, put it under a microscope, the duct tape, and said, yeah, there's pigments on this. So he concluded that, yeah, the Shroud of Turin was painted, you know. Then actually,
I mean, when it comes to the blood on it, like, it's disputed, right? There are some people who say there's blood, and other people who have other explanations for it. So I was saying the shroud is highly, highly disputed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Could I continue for like just a couple of seconds? I'll be right done. Yeah, the blood is disputed. That's not really the point I'm talking about right now. The point is, like, is it painted with pigments, you know? The researcher said, yes, you know, it's likely a forgery made with dye mixed with gelatin and such. And then further research, you know, other researchers did more in-depth research. They like scanned the surface of it. And what they then actually found is that those pigments are just on a surface layer. You know, they are not actually like in the fibers in mixed in it like you would see in a painting. But even though those newer researchers have done that, the scientist on his homepage has not updated his research, you know.
Okay.
So
I mean, I would look more into that. It's just I don't really take the shroud as anything. But Vincent, I do appreciate you. We're out of time. I'm gonna move on to check the scriptures now. But come back anytime and we'll talk. All right, appreciate you.
Thank you as well. I'll do some more research and get back. Have a good one.
Not a problem. All right, guys. So once again, thank y'all so much for being here. We're gonna go ahead and keep it moving. Z, how's it going? HNIC, I promise I'm gonna get to you right after I talk to scripture here. Y'all, once again, thank y'all so much for being here. Who was supposed to come up? Queen. I invited you some time ago. If you want to go ahead and come up, you can go ahead and come up. Guys, I do see y'all in the request. Right now, I'm just going one-on-one. I'm gonna bring you guys up in a moment. All right, just give me a few minutes. Check the scriptures. How's it going? Are you at least 18? And do you think you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Yeah. So I'm over way past that number. So a good reason to believe in God. First, could I ask a question in terms of what's your position? Do you believe or you don't believe? Because that would probably give me in how I would approach.
Yeah, I do not believe. I don't think. I don't have right now. I don't have any type of God belief. I don't think the supernatural is real, and until I get some evidence for that, that just was where it's gonna stay at.
Okay, so don't believe in period. Okay, because if so, I as my name says, the scripture. I fully believe in the scripture. I fully believe in Jesus Christ. There's only one God, and He has no partner. I associate none with Him. But my approach, it would not make sense for me to dive into scriptures because your stand, and not just you alone, but for others, their stand on not believing, bringing scriptures to them would not be the best approach. My approach to you would more likely be of a testimonial and then to ask you questions on, just to have a quick dialogue. Is that good?
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Yeah. So pretty much, my thing, growing up, we always just say, yeah, God is real and everything. But there comes a point in my time where I was really down, right? And you look to friends, you look to family. There was just nothing, right? To there for you. So basically, the only other option is to, let me see who this God is. We were always told God is real, but let me try and see who is this God, right? And for me, it was just keeps going back to scriptures because I grew up in that faith. I'm not Muslim nor Buddhist nor anything Hindu or anything else. So I seek, and after seeking for some time and asking and pushing, things just start reveal itself exactly what I asked for. To everyone in their religion, they could be probably saying the same thing. Oh, I have done that, and it's the this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it was in that exact same thing. So that's the reason why. That's just in a brief snippet of my conversion and what I've been through.
Okay, so cool. I understand that, right? Now people in my audience are already pointing this out. Personal testimony isn't really proof of anything, and you've already admitted it that that there are people who can from other religions who can say the exact same thing as you. So it wouldn't really show us that this is really actually true. So the question then becomes is not what your personal testimony is, because we know your personal testimony is why you believe it. The question would become, how do we show that to be true to everybody else? Because testimony is proof for you, but it's hearsay to everybody else. How do we show outside of your personal feelings that is actually true?
Good question. So my question, because we're in the dialogue and you're on the stand of believing nothing. So my question to you is that, because earlier on you mentioned people in Africa as an example, they're suffering and all that. So what's your take on someone like, for instance, the main topic is like a Hitler per se.
Mm-hmm.
What's your main take on that? What should happen to someone like that?
They should die.
They should die.
Because
But
they cause nothing but death and destruction on this planet of other human beings, and their entire goal is to be a tyrant and to wipe out, a portion of the population, which is what Hitler was doing. So yeah, take them out.
So why do you think they should die though? Because of just your that reason you gave?
Yeah, they cause substantial harm to human being. Their entire goal is to eliminate an entire group of people from the planet. Someone like that doesn't need to be around. Like, you gotta take them out. If they're not going to stop what they're doing voluntarily, then we're just gonna go ahead and take them out.
Okay, so they should die. Fine, fair enough. We as you know, we all gonna die. So for someone who is starving and they have nothing to eat and they die, what do you think should happen to them?
A person who's starving?
Yeah, and they just die. What do you think should happen? Like,
well, we should have fed them. We should have made sure they had food before they died. Because after they're dead, there's nothing to do. Like, they're dead.
Okay. So on your stand, do you think they should just die and that's it? There should not be any sort of punishment, no nothing. They just die and that's it.
The death is the punishment. They're off this planet. They're gone.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I see where you stand on that.
Yeah, because I don't believe there's anything after this. So, like, take them out.
Okay, so you don't believe. Okay, all right. Good to know that you have said that. So, or you have the same position that there are no spirits?
Yeah, until I have evidence for any afterlife, spirits, fairies, leprechauns, dragons, anything like that. Until I have any evidence for any of that type of stuff, I do not believe it.
Okay. Do you do a lot of research in your spare time?
Yeah, I go down rabbit holes all the time.
Okay, that's good. Have you ever heard of someone being possessed?
Yeah, I'm Haitian, so yeah, definitely all the time.
Oh, you're Haitian. That's good. I'm Jamaican, so that's good.
Yeah,
that's
my wife is
good,
Jamaican,
good,
so
good.
awesome.
Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. So in your culture, what they would call what they call it, I think voodoo or something like that.
Yeah,
where they
voodoo and obia are almost the same, but yeah, it's voodoo.
The same, yeah. Jamaica, they would say obia. There, I believe they say voodoo.
It's voodoo.
So when one would invoke a spirit, have you ever heard of it or seen of it?
When they invoke spirits?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I've of course, I haven't. Sorry about that. Excuse me, guys. My grandmother was a practitioner, right? So I used to see like pigeon feathers and powder all over the house all the time. So yeah, I've heard of them doing it, like invoking certain spirits, especially during the revolution. During Haitian Revolution. Duddy Boukma, who was from Jamaica, as a matter of fact. Yeah, Duddy Boukma came over. He did the ceremony with the other practitioners. So like invoking the spirits of Ogun, Urzuli, those type of people. Some people would still invoke the spirits of Dambala, Baron Samdi, people like that. So yeah, I've heard them invoking the spirits. Now, do I think those spirits are actually real is another thing. I don't think they're real. But if you're going to be asking me like when these ceremonies happen and we see these people be possessed and everything like that, those are kind of just like mental phenomena. You can work yourself up into a frenzy by having those type of experiences, right? They do the same thing over in like Native American cultures. As a matter of fact, in concerts, like if you ever go to a Beyonce, or if you ever been to a Michael Jackson concert, people faint and do all that type of stuff all the time. It's more of a psychological thing than I think more of a spirit possessing people, because I don't believe that we have spirits, but it seems to be more psychological than it is something that's otherworldly.
Okay. No worries. So your stance on that, Yeah, I the only thing I can do at this point is just ask you a bit more in terms of if you ever seen these things, right? And then to ask you where would it be coming from? So you're saying you've heard of these things, but not actually seen someone being literally possessed. Because when one is possessed, they're not in the right mind. So the eye roll back into the head. They have immense strength. The strength they have is beyond the average human being, and but yet still they are average, right? Have you ever seen someone walk on a, like, I think they call it what, banana tree there,
Like on the banana and
the
mango.
leaf?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen people walk on those. I mean, the thing is, I've seen people like do the whole possession thing, right? I've seen
Yeah.
it. What I'm saying is that those results, and from what I can ascertain, is those are more of a result of psychological effects than it is anything spiritual. Because again, we don't have any proof of anything supernatural. So this may be more psychological effects, and we've been able to replicate these several times. Like people who go to concerts, like I don't know if you know what heavy metal. Well, you know what heavy metal is, but if you
Yeah,
ever
yeah,
go
I've
to
heard of.
if you ever go to a heavy metal concerts, all those people in that pit pushing each other around, working themselves up to a frenzy, you can say that's a spiritual thing. Like they would even say it's a spiritual thing, right? But it's more of a
No, no, I'm
psychological thing. It's
talking.
more of the
No, I'm speaking more of someone physically walk on a leaf, like the banana tree, the leaf itself. The banana stalk,
like
and
floating on it.
yeah, no, walk on it or walk up it. You have never seen that?
I've never seen it. I've heard
Okay.
of it
All right,
happening, but
no
I've
worries.
never seen it.
When someone would, a doctor say, you have, stage 4 cancer and you have a month to live, and literally tests showing that it is there, and they would go to a church where they are true believers and they all pray for that individual. Have you ever seen that or heard of that?
Both seen and
And they're
heard.
being healed, both
Yeah,
seen and healed.
both seen and
What
heard.
what
Yeah.
what would cause that?
Cancer is going to remissions all the time, so it's one of those things that kind of just happen. They were probably one of the lucky people that the cancer went to remission, because the thing is, we also see the opposite, right? Folks who are true believers praying for the cancer to go away, and the person still dies. Happened to two of my godmothers. I mean, when I was around 12, 13 years old, both my godmothers died within the same year of brain cancer, and they were true believers. They dedicated their lives to this, and their churches were true believers. Those churches dedicated their lives to all of it, right? Still died. So when people say that the miracles happen for the cancer to go away, I always say, how come that person got a miracle and my godmothers didn't? Or the millions of people around the world who get cancer, pray over it, and don't live. You know what I'm saying?
Many
So we just
people,
can't go off of that.
yeah, but many people will say they're believers, but in their heart is far from it, right? So to you on the outside, you've seen them go to church and they profess God, but the reality is, deep down, when behind closed doors, they're far from it. But I'm just trying to get back to that one
Fucking
that
yikes!
you said you
I
see it.
don't think you realize how the yikesy things that you said, right? Because it's like you're kind of kind of dodging this entire point here. You're saying that they died because they didn't truly believe it, but you don't know these people.
No, I'm just saying we can't just say they are true believers. Just that point I'm trying to get at.
Right, but
Right.
but that throws doubt into the entire thing. That's kind of saying you may not want to say that, but you're kind of alluding to that point. They only live if you're a true believer. Miracles only happen if you're a true believer, and if you didn't get a miracle, then you actually didn't believe, but you don't know that for sure.
Well, as I said again, I can't. My approach to you is because your stand is I can't dive into scripture, right? Because to you, scripture is just words or a book, right? So I can't dive into that. So I'm just going based on events and what do you think and what could cause these supernatural event?
That's the thing. I
Another
don't think
thi-
those events are supernatural. Like cancers go into remission naturally all the time. That does happen. Doctors make mistake. They might have thought it was cancer and it was something else. That does happen. You know what I mean? And there are times where it's unexplainable, where they confirmed there was cancer and then all of a sudden it disappeared. That happens. You know what I'm saying? Natural things like that happen all the time. What I'm saying is that if we take a look at this, right, and we have people who prayed over their cancer to go away and it goes into remission or goes away, but we have other people who are also believers and their cancer didn't go away. And the first thing that we say, and I say, okay, well, how come these true believers still died of cancer and these true believers didn't? And the first thing you say is, well, the people who are true believers, we don't know if they really believed in the first place. That's you see how that's kind of
no, I get that.
Mhm.
No, I get that. I was just mainly focusing on scriptures, but at the end of the day, God has the power to give and to take,
Okay.
right? So yes, I fully understand. Looking at it from the outside, what one would think. In terms of how the human body, the body of a human designed, and everything is just that to that point. If something should just out 1/8 of an inch, many other things as what researchers said that could happen. What's your take on that in terms of the structure and everything of the human body?
The
design behind it.
I mean, if the human body is designed, it's designed pretty terribly.
And why do you think that?
What am I wearing right now?
Your glasses?
Yeah. If I didn't have these, I would probably die because I can't see very well. Like if I were to take these off, my vision is so bad that I can't see my face on the screen. And the screen is about 20 inches away from me and I cannot see my face. That's how bad my vision is. So if this was how it was designed, that's pretty horrible, isn't it? Because it makes my survivability a lot less.
We can't use one example because there are things that happen. It's the same like someone who were born with only one hand and saying, well, it's a bad design. Things happen, right? But on a broader spectrum of how everyone is, it's generally having functioning eyes, hands, legs, right?
Well, 4 billion people wear glasses, so that's half of humanity. Half of humanity have bad vision. It's kind of a bad design. Where half your population has their eyes don't work properly. That's I would say that's pretty bad design. But what you were saying that overall how the body functions, right? Still, like we have useless things in our body, like the wisdom teeth. Wisdom teeth are completely useless. You know what I'm saying? So if that was a good, not only that, wisdom teeth get infected. You know what I'm saying? So if that was part of the grand design, I'll ask, what was the point of that, right? Why does our body grow cancer? Like, why does our liver accumulate fat if we drink alcohol, and then it has scars on it, and then we die horrible, painful deaths from drinking alcohol? You know what I'm saying? These are things I would ask, like, because if our body was perfectly designed, then our liver should be able to filter out all these things, and we're good, right?
Yeah. So, but my thing is, if you're misusing it and abuse it, things will happen, right? I agree with that. Our body designed to take in food, but if we overdo it, then we become obese.
The thing is, check, when you say that our body was designed a certain way, of course that implies a designer, but you would have to actually show that our body is designed in the first place. How do we actually show that?
Yeah, it's just we have to by looking at how everything is, right? We have to say there is a designer.
Why?
So the fact that by asking why in itself tell you that there is a designer, but we choose not to associate.
No, not really.
that-
I'm kind of questioning the logic here. You're saying that when we look around, we have to say the designer. I'm asking why, and you're kind of saying, oh, well, you asking why means that there is. That's kind of silly. Why would we assume that? Like, there's no reason for me to assume that the universe was designed. Now, we can assume that this hat is designed, right? Because we'll never go out into the woods somewhere and see a shape like this just pop out the ground. We'll never see that. So we know the hat is designed. But when it comes to grass and trees and the human body, like, we know that happens naturally. So why would we assume design there?
But okay, let's okay, all right. Let's try another approach. You said trees and stuff happen naturally. Where would you think like the first tree would come from?
That's much more complicated. Trees came into existence, I think, from what we know, about 200 to 300 million years ago. Or was that sharks? I think sharks were about 500 million years ago. But yeah, trees, I think are like 100 million years ago. And how they came into existence is not something I can explain because I'm not a botanist. You know what I mean? That's a very complex subject. So I don't really know. But we do know.
I'm not saying you have to know, but it has to come.
Yeah, it came from somewhere. I'm not saying that trees popped out of nowhere. Trees did evolve over time, right? They're plants that evolved over time. How did they evolve is not something I can answer you. I don't know. I'm not a botanist, but yeah, I think they came here around naturally. I'm pretty sure if we look it up, we'll see how trees came about. Yeah, trees about 400 million years old. There we go, 400 million years old. Yeah,
right. But it came in somehow.
It came in somehow. Yeah, sure.
Okay. So why not that somehow you associate to that designer?
Because I have no evidence that there is a designer in the first place. We will need to show that first before I associate something I see with a designer. We have to show that if we're going to say, okay, this is because of a designer, we would need to show that a designer actually exists first. We just can't assume that the designer is there. Because nothing.
I get your stand and many others like yourself. Yeah. Oh, so you have your because the mindset is also in the scripture where many need to see before they believe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see the problem necessarily. I don't necessarily see the problem with that because like that's how we will all typically operate, right? I always give this example. If I were to tell you that I have $10 billion, but it's in Nassau, Bahamas, go ahead and catch a plane there, meet me at the beach, and I'm going to give you $50 million. Are you going to believe me?
Based upon evidence, yes.
Based upon evidence, exactly.
Yes.
But if I just told you that?
No.
No, exactly. So evidence is something that we can demonstrate. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by this. All right. So hey, scriptures, we are kind of out of time. We went about 5 minutes over.
No.
I do appreciate you though. All right. Come back anytime.
No worries. All right.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, NSJ, I'm going to get to you next. NSJ, just give me a few moments. I do have someone in front of you. Hey, what's going on? Take notes. NSJ, please be patient with me. I'm going to get to you next. I just have someone in front of you. His name is HNIC. HNIC, how's it going? I think we spoke before, but just give me a few moments to shout some folks out. All right. Over on a Deconstruction Junction channel. Thank you so much, Deconstruction Junction. Big one on those numbers. Let's go ahead and keep them pumping up. If you want to go ahead and send me a super chat, I do appreciate that. Send me that. I'm not reading the comments, guys, so I'm not going to be able to see what you guys are saying. If you want to talk to me, go ahead and go to the link, tiny.cc/Volsi Live. It is pinned, so you'll be able to go ahead and talk to me, all right? Over on the Volsi Thoughts channel, once again, I appreciate you guys over on the Volsi Thoughts channel. Thank y'all so much. If you'd like to be part of the conversation, tiny.cc/Volsi Live, you go ahead and talk to me there as well. The gift goal is up for the Volsi Thoughts channel. Go ahead and send me a gift if you'd like to support what I do. And if you're watching me over on the Bash channel, okay, over on the Bash channel, definitely go ahead and come on up, tiny.cc/Volsi Live if you'd like to talk to me. Thank y'all so much for being here. We are going to move over to HNIC. HNIC, how's it going? Are you at least 18 and I think we spoke before.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, I'm way over 18, brother. And yeah, man, I was hoping that Haiti would actually win a game on the World Cup, man. Did you see him? Did you put some bets on him?
Same. No, I didn't put any bets on them. I wasn't betting on us to beat Brazil, but I think we could have beat Scotland, and we got cheated out of that. I saw that we got cheated out of that, definitely. But I am disappointed that we were going to be the first team to be eliminated. But I am very, very proud that they finally made it after all this time. Like that is amazing. That's wonderful.
I feel you, man. Who do you use usually for your bets, like Kalshi or like? If you ever do.
I actually don't use those because the thing is, the reason why I kind of like things like Polymarket and Kalshi, the reason why I know I can bet on things but don't use it is because I don't want gambling to become normalized, and I think gambling is going to become the new crack epidemic. Tell you the truth, it's very I'm very worried about it. That's the only reason I haven't really used it. Now, Kalshi, I'm not gonna make money off of it because I can predict the weather like pretty easily. But it's the only reason I don't use them. Like, man, I'm just not comfortable with it right now. You see what I'm saying? You see what I mean, right? I'm not really comfortable with those sports, those betting apps at the moment. They seem they seem icky.
Yeah. So it's mostly like just between friends and everything like that. I feel you on that because that's where like a lot of people like in the 1800s they used to have issues of betting and gambling and things of that nature that really hurt and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. But I'm just saying like when you look at it from the aspects of when you say a good reason, what is your premise of a good reason? Just wanted to see what that looks like before I can get into anything.
Yeah, a good reason I would say would be evidence, something that's demonstrable, demonstratable. I think those are what would be good reasons.
Demonstrable. Okay, bet. Okay, so I look at it this way. Even we look at it from a game theory perspective, and saying that, hey, would you rather believe in something and then get infinite bliss? And then if you don't believe, but yet it's still there, then you'd have infinite damnation. Or if the aspects of saying that, hey, if you do believe and there's not there, then you don't lose anything. So really when you look at it, you can look at it from a Pascal's wager perspective, but saying that, hey, you know what, you're not betting much, or the margins aren't that difficult to put up in belief, because saying that if you believe, then you can have, eternal salvation.
But I do think you're losing.
You might give me a second. You might give me a second. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me one moment. Hold on. What's up, baby?
Oh yeah, sorry, babes. I don't know if I interrupted anything, but I'm just letting you know I'm
Well, so you might want to mute if you're having a personal conversation.
No problem. Yeah, she was just telling me that she's coming back. All right, yeah.
No. I just didn't want your business. You to put your business out there. I'm just protecting you.
no, all good. All right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and run it right now. We'll go ahead and run this panel for the next maybe 20, maybe 30 minutes. We'll go ahead and get everybody on this conversation. HNIC, you are a believer. Give me 1 second. HNIC, NSJ. You can hear us, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody can hear NSJ over on my StreamYard.
I mean, I can. Well, if we're talking to us on TikTok, I can.
You cannot, or you can?
No, I can. That's what I was saying.
Oh, you can.
On
Okay.
TikTok, we can.
Okay, cool. All right, so NSJ, I'm not sure if you're looking at the screen, but you see we got a full panel. You and HNIC are the. Oh, actually, matter of fact, let me do this. NSJ, are you a believer?
It's a hard question, but I can help us both with that.
Okay, whatever that means. All right, cool.
We'll just say for sake of argument
that he's
possible agnostic.
Possible agnostic. All right, cool. All right,
I wouldn't say that.
You would not say that.
You wouldn't say that?
No, not personally. I think I could get into it in a moment.
All right, so we're just gonna call you believer.
Okay, we'll just wait a little second.
Just give us a second. All right, cool. So we'll go ahead and run it as a panel for now. HNIC, let's go ahead and let me go ahead and start this clock over again. As a matter of fact, because I want to give you your proper amount of time. All right, HNIC. So you brought up really Pascal's wager, but you understand the problems with Pascal's wager, right?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at it from basically from the issue of aspects of a game theory perspective. You're saying that, you don't bet on Kalshi or anything else, but yet you do place bets and everything. You're a person that can look at a good deal when you see it and something that's logical of it being a good deal. And you're saying a good reason. So you're saying a reason for faith. Sometimes reason and faith can clash because people who have a worldly perspective, they're going to say, hey, you know what? I need evidence. I need proof. I need good reason. And a good reason already presented saying that, hey, from a betting perspective, and I know someone says, oh, it's only if you believe in one religion. Well, it says on your prompt says, believe in your God. If it's my God believes that there's one religion. All right, cool. But we're saying that, hey, your cost and belief, when you look at that aspect in a betting perspective, in a reasonable betting perspective, it would be something that say, hey, I would go with that belief because it's a good deal or it is a good reason to believe than not to believe because you're placing a bet on is there a God or not God. And then when you say, hey, I'll place the bet that there is one and there isn't. All right. The what cost you was quite minimal versus the idea of not believing.
HNIC, there's a problem. Like people already pointed it out. Your God's not the only one.
Brother, but you said it says here, can you give me a good reason to believe in your God?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I said my God. Hold on. But you said my God and my God and my belief. There's only one God.
I know. I know.
So what's it even if?
Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. All right. So yeah, HNIC, I get it. Under your belief, there's only one God, under only one religion. I understand that. But in reality, there are multiple religions. Right, yours is not the only one. So saying that you should place the bet on my God because my God says there's one and he's the right one, it's not a good reason. That's just a claim. Why should I believe that nigga?
Hold on, bro.
It's not a good reason.
Hold on, man.
It's not a good reason for us to believe.
The thing is, you said that a good reason to believe in your God. My God said that there's only one God, and that's the God that's out there. You said that. You didn't say believe in a.
Right. So why is that a reason to believe? Hold on. But why is that a good reason? Hold on, HNC. Why is that a good reason to believe in that one? Just because he said so? So what? Okay. If I told you I got $10 billion in the Bahamas, are you gonna believe me because I said so? That's a good reason?
Hold on. First off, okay, maybe you want to get your pronouns and everything fixed because it says your God, not a God. If you said a God, I wouldn't even came up. But you said your God.
Right.
My God.
HNIC, listen.
We know what
your God is saying.
Then you should have said belief in God. You should have said that thing instead of your God.
No. You're gonna pause for me real quick, all right? I understand what your God is saying. What I'm rebuttal to you is that that's not a good reason for me to believe that. Just because your God says I'm the only one, that doesn't give me a good reason to believe that.
Okay, so how about this? I'll act like you guys put belief in God.
No. You can still believe in your God, but okay, you said that your God claims that it's the only one and the right one. We get that. But that's not a good reason for me to believe that just because it's just a claim. How do we show that's true?
Okay, but you're going on my premise. When you say you're God, you're going on to my grounds, to my premise. And I also said, even if you don't, hold on, ma'am. Even if you go by that, let's say there's many gods, cool. But once again, it goes back to the many gods that will say that, hey, in belief, you will get rewarded. In disbelief, you will not get rewarded. So it goes still back to that wager of saying that, hey,
so why should I believe that's true? Why should I believe that's true?
Because you already said you're a betting person, correct? You said you need a good reason.
You're really oversimplifying.
Yeah,
you said you're.
Hold on, everybody, hold on. I'm gonna let everybody else go because I've been talking for a while. But listen, HNIC. Hold on, wait, HNIC. Listen, I'm gonna let everybody else go because just give me a second. So HNIC, listen to what I'm saying to you. You're if we're making the analogy of us betting on something, right? Like let's say we want to bet on a few horses, and we go to a horse and you say, okay, we should bet on horse Blue. The name of the horse is Blue. We should bet on that one. And I ask you, why should we bet on that one? And you just simply say, well, we should bet on Blue because the person that rides on Blue simply says that it's a fast horse. Okay, cool. Now another friend says we should bet on Red. And when I asked them, why should we bet on Red? They said, I have the details about this horse. Not only is it well fed, not only has it won its last 3 races, but also look how fast it is. Look at these times. Look at this jockey. This jockey is very, very good. He's been doing this for a couple of years. Great. That gives me reason to bet on Red. You saying I should bet on Blue because I have a really good feeling is not. You see what I'm saying here, right?
You're looking at it differently. What I'm saying is that it's placing a bet instead of not placing a bet and saying that if you believe in reason, and you said that, even though you don't bet on Kalshi, but yet you have bet, you can look at a good deal or something that is reasonable. And when you look at those two things, saying that, hey, it's better to place a bet, which basically doesn't cost you much, or if anything at all, and you can actually win big, versus.
But that's the part that we disagree
Okay, but
on.
you're interrupting me. Mel.
Yeah, no, she's right. That is part that we disagree on. I don't think that we're making a good bet, or there's a reason to even make the bet in the first place.
But see,
but also I'm a mod, so technically I can interject. I've actually been letting you speak.
Right.
So.
I'm actually gonna let them go in a second.
Speak,
all right. I'm sorry. I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna go ahead and take a stand back. But HNIC, what I'm saying is that you're saying that the thing is to take a bet and not take a bet. You can see a good deal when you have it. Not only do I not see a good deal, but the second thing is that I have no reason to believe that your deal is even true. That's the thing, because you wouldn't bet on me, like, because I asked you already, and you said you already said no, you wouldn't do it. Like me telling you that I have $10 billion in the Bahamas, follow me there. You can bet on that, right? Because the reward is going to be $50 million. That's going to be your reward. Are you going to believe me just because I said so?
What is the wager? What do I have to put up?
Nothing. You just got to follow me to Bahamas, and I'll give you $50 million.
But that's still okay. So I have to go there. That'd be a little bit different.
That's it. You just got to go there. Yeah, buy a ticket. Hold on, listen. If you buy a ticket, that's around $200 to Nassau, Bahamas. When you get there, I'm going to give you $50 million out of my $10 billion. Are you going to believe me just because I said so?
One, in the bet and the belief in God, that's an orthodoxy, not practice.
I'm just asking if you're going to believe me just because I said so. I'm just asking you.
But the proof in that belief or putting that wager in is different. Because
HNIC, listen, HNIC, will you believe me if I just said so?
Brother, please listen to what I'm saying. When you're asking me to go
answer to my question, my guy.
No,
yes
because
or no,
it's a leading question, and there's no yes or no. Once again,
no, there is a yes or no. There is a yes or no.
Okay, I'll digress because being disingenuous.
Everybody pause. Everybody pause because the next 10 minutes I want everybody else to go. All right, HNIC, listen. I have $10 billion in the Bahamas. Buy a ticket to the Bahamas, and I will give you $50 million. Can you stop interrupting?
But you interrupted me, and you spent.
I'm the host. I have $10 billion in the Bahamas. If you buy a ticket to Nassau and follow me there, I will give you $50 million. Do you believe me just because I just told you that? Do you believe me? Just a yes or no.
That's totally different, sir. What I'm
just
saying is
this. Yes or no question. Do you believe me, man? This is not hard. Just say yes or no.
I teach debate. You get me into a yes or no question that's trying to paint the options.
I'm like, no, it's a yes
when
or
it
no
comes
question.
To no, because it's a different premises.
No,
even my middle school students would know about that.
HNIC, I'm asking you a yes or no question, bro. I'm just asking you a yes or no question.
It's a yes or no question. I'm like,
even in CIA, they will tell you that
Jesus
answering
fucking
yes
Christ.
or no question.
This is not the fucking CIA. We're having an informal discussion. This is not the CIA. This is not debate class.
But sir,
we're having a stop. This is not the CIA. Stop. This is not the CIA.
If you interrupting me or the host, I'm gonna drop you.
Yeah. Okay, he's gone. All right, cool. Not a problem. All right, y'all. So NSJ, let's go ahead and go with NSJ. You're gonna be the last guest for the night. NSJ, how's it going, NSJ?
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm all right. Cool. All right. So, do you think you give us a good reason to believe in a God? Give me a.
I'm like, hold on, just for a second, Queen Nisha, girl. I know when I'm like, I'm mad, and actually, I'm gonna mute you. I'm like, meet you, and then I'm gonna have my way with you, girl. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't like punks, so I'm gonna request that. And I'm gonna mute you in the chat because I don't do keyboard gangsters. Come up, girl.
Hey, Queen. I just if you're gonna be in the comments complaining and bitching and moaning, where's gonna go? Okay, there she is. Thank you so much.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, she's coming.
There she go.
All right, so Queen, stay on mute until we're done with NSJ.
Yeah, I ain't scared of nothing. You can't even pronounce my name.
NSJ. I'm sorry, not NSJ. Queen.
I'm like
Queen. Oh, okay. So she's gonna go ahead and be a punk.
I didn't drop her, by the way.
Me neither. Yeah, she's gonna be a punk. All right, NSJ, we're gonna get.
So like I said, girl, you a punk just like your God. I'm like, you wasn't ready to get scalped, bitch.
Anyway,
jump in. I want to let you know I'm actually in your hood right now. I'm in Florida.
Oh,
on vacation.
Vacation? Central or south or north?
I'm in Orlando.
Oh, we gotta link up, bro. Inbox me.
Oh, there she is again. Yeah, come up, girl.
I want to check in. I forgot to check in with you. So, yeah.
I dropped myself, ho, and you sound like you're forcing to be a woman,
Hey,
man.
Queen,
Now, bye, now, bye.
Queen, mute up for me, please. All right, yeah, she is gonna do that.
Yeah, because you tried it.
All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and just talk to NSJ. So
I know you dropped yourself because you was scary ass hoe, bitch.
Yeah. So yeah, if she does that again, I'm just gonna go ahead and block her. Hey V, go ahead and inbox me too. We can go ahead and all link up. All right, NSJ, let's talk to you. All right, NSJ. I'm gonna give you the same amount of time that I gave the other person, so we can go ahead and have that conversation. Are you at least 18? And you said that you were. What do you think is a good reason to believe in a God?
Yes, indeed. I am an adult. So it depends on what you mean by God. So we can get into that. I will say I don't want to debate or anything. I want to talk with you. I don't want to make it aggressive or whatever.
Yeah, sure. We can go ahead and have that talk. Just letting you know that there's other people on the panel. They may want to talk to you as well. But yeah, sure. You can go ahead and talk to me for a few, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add them in. I'm gonna give myself about 5 minutes, and I'm gonna give them the rest. Okay. All right, NSJ. So when it comes to when I talk about God, right? I typically talk about typical Western monotheism, like Judaism, Christianity, Islam. We can get into Hinduism, but I don't know much about it. But it's essentially those versions, right? Almighty supernatural being that has agency and interacts with the world every day and has will and et cetera, et cetera. That's typically the type of version of God that I talk about. Now, if someone is talking about a God that is the foundation of reality or whatever like that, I don't have much of a beef with that, but I don't see any reason to label it or call it a God or label it a God, because it has no will, it has no agency. It's just the floor of reality, the foundation. I don't see any reason to call that a God. But if you're talking about a God that has, especially in the religion, that has agency and interact with the world, that's the ones that I'm talking about. And typically the ones that have an issue with are the Christian, Muslim, Jewish versions. But go ahead.
Alrighty. I would say my definition of God is something that you put on top of anything else. It's your priority. It's on top of everything that you make your decisions of. So whatever you're doing right now, where you're having this conversation, you're doing it for a reason, ultimately for one purpose. And you can put that word God on it if you would like. If you don't want to, because you think that definition is bad, you could disagree with me. I think that's a good definition. It's not the type of God that you're talking about, but I want to start simple. I think there's at least something that everybody prioritizes, including yourself. What do you think you prioritize?
Well, I prioritize my health. I prioritize my relationship with my family, with my wife. I prioritize my studies because I'm studying to be a counselor, a mental health counselor. So I prioritize that. I prioritize the mental health of my community. I prioritize that. So if we're gonna go with priorities is a God, then people's children are their gods too, because people prioritize their children all the time.
That's true.
So that's why I think those type of labels don't really work, because we're gonna get into
there's something on top of that. Of course, there's always something that's above the other, that's more valuable to you than something else. The reason why you care for your kids, the reason why you care for your wife, I assume what you can encapsulate that all in for yourself might be well-being. Is that reasonable to say that you would well-being for yourself, for your wife, for your children?
Of course.
Do you think there's a reason why you want that well-being for yourself and for everybody around you?
Yeah, I'm a human being, and we're geared towards survival, and we have empathy because we're a social species. So
right. So you want survival and you want empathy towards others because that makes you survive more, and that makes sure that the well-being stays intact.
Yeah, exactly. I want well-being for myself, and I want well-being for others because I have empathy, and I want to see people live happy lives, just like I want to live a happy life.
So what if somebody doesn't want that? Because there are thousands, millions of people that would claim that they're not so interested in survival anymore. How does that?
Like people who want to self-delete?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that is a thing, right? So what we typically do is, especially in the counseling profession, we find out what is going on with them, like what is their story, why do they feel that they want to take their own life and not be here anymore, and we try to help them heal, right? Because typically those reasons are around trauma, around depression, around a sense of grave unhappiness. So we try to help them heal from that.
I would say those things are probably true, but I would say that any kind of fix that people can give to them is not the type of fix they want. They have already decided their fate. I won't go into this too much, but my point is that there's people that genuinely, because of the life that they see in front of them, not even their lives, but any opportunities that could have been given to them that they didn't even reach, are not opportunities that they're any longer interested in, regardless of any good scenario. If they had a good dad, if they had a good mom, if they had a lot of money, if they didn't have a lot of money, if they had a good schooling, or if they did not, there's people that are not interested in life. And you have to explain why those people should be interested in life.
Well, that depends on why they're not interested in life.
They wouldn't be interested in it because you would have to answer, for example, at least the most important question as, what are we going towards? What's the goal?
They have to decide that for themselves.
Yeah, you get to decide any goal you would like, and you can live your life that way, and you could call it enjoyment and fun while you live. But if someone doesn't see value in that, you could say there's something wrong with them, like maybe you should value something in life, or you could say some people just don't value life, so then I don't want to do life, and then you would leave life. So are those people wrong, or should they value life?
They're not typically wrong. You can value anything that you want, right? I'm not going to say that they're wrong or not for not valuing life. It's only wrong that because they don't value life, therefore they bring harm onto others. That would be wrong. But if they just don't value life and they don't value themselves, I think there's something going on with them mentally, right? There's something wrong there. Like something is happening to them to not value themselves and not value life. There's a reason for why that is. It's typically negative reasons. But the only thing I will say that is wrong is if their actions is to take away or harm other people. If they want to take away their own life, is that wrong or not? So I don't think self-deletion falls into the categories of moral or immoral. That falls into the category of more of basically health. Exactly. It's basically it falls in the category of health. Like, is it wrong to catch a cold? Like, that's kind of silly, right? It's more of an issue of health, not an issue of morals.
Is it ever logical not to consider life?
Is there logical to not to consider life? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to answer that.
So I think you can argue that there, if you don't believe in God, the only logical conclusion is to not care for life. And that's what many people conclude to. If you look at the evidence, you do see that people that believe in God are happier. I think everyone agrees about this. I think you agree as well.
Right, but those people are generally happier because of community, not because they just have the God belief. Because there are depressed people who believe in God, right?
There's depressed people that, I mean, of course, depressed, but they still have a will to live. So that's different.
Right, they have coping mechanisms. So when we look at these type of things, right, they have coping religion does give people coping mechanisms, and it does give them community. Like anywhere you go in America, if you're a Christian, you're going to find a community. Well, maybe not in the deep South if you're a black person, because a lot of Christians here are still racist. But like if just about anywhere in America, you're going to be able to find a community if you're Christian. So that helps people out. And not only that, Christianity and everything like that.
I mean, even in the South, technically, because there's black Christian communities in the South.
In the
As
South.
someone who's has lineage in the South, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you're gonna find community anywhere you go as a Christian, right? But those things like those happiness and stuff like that is more built around having that community, not just the belief in of itself.
Well, that's an assumption, but I would say that's reasonable. But
It's not an assumption. That's what the research actually says. They said this is coming from their community. Because I know what you're citing. You're citing the study that showed that people who are religious tend to be more happier, have better coping mechanisms. The study actually does says this is because of the community. They have a community.
I mean, the study can make their own conclusions. That's people making the conclusions. If they're basing it off of any evidence, that's.
Do you think people who don't believe atheists can't have community?
No, I don't. Well, if you want to go all the way down, then it's going to be very difficult. I do think it's not the same thing in the slightest. To be honest.
Because they're a minority. Where there's not a lot of atheists. So yeah, it's difficult.
But we do build communities on
I mean, not to mention there's humanitarianism that exists, and that's a whole philosophy within itself. Being a humanitarian doesn't necessarily mean you subscribe to a religion. There are humanitarians that are not religious.
Right, but why would you be a humanitarian under atheistic beliefs?
Why
would
not?
Empathy.
Let me tell you. Let me explain it to you like this. No matter what, you have a mind, and that mind is reliant on nature, nurture conditions, giving you a subjective reality to believe what you want. You are giving form, name, and construction via your own five senses and mind. So therefore, everybody around the world does this and has a sense of community around this. The problem is when the ego gets so large and thinks that its way is the right way. And in actual scientific explanation is that we don't really know everything, and we're always mapping and navigating, and that's science. Science does that. It lays firm foundations for those that want to have factual evidence and contangible evidence to look at the reality from which they live in. Just because you don't do it that way or like it that way or reach for some creator, it doesn't mean it's not completely naturalistic. That the principles of creation, preservation, and destruction are not just natural principles of our known reality functioning always in everything. And so when I say you are that which is having an experience, it's just as valid as you believing in some authoritarian creator God.
I wouldn't say it's has any standing. I think it has zero standing when you ask people who don't want to be part of life, and you ask them, how can I make you accept this humanitarian idea for yourself? Save yourself and live humanitarily. They say, no, I'm not interested in this. There's nothing after life. Supposedly there's just nothingness. We don't know about it. I'm not interested in nothingness.
Who says
and
that?
I'm not interested. Atheists say that.
There's no such thing as nothingness. There's no such thing as nothingness. In physics, there's no such thing as nothingness.
Yeah, nothing doesn't.
Actually, it's you Christians that believe nothingness. Actually.
Wait, hold on, guys. So NSJ, you're saying that atheists don't care about life, but you're just wrong.
No, I didn't say that.
All right. So what did you say then? Because I'm not.
Many people, they, regardless of whatever label you want to put on them, if you put them under a possibility of only no God, then they will choose to let go of this life because there's no other option ahead of them.
I mean,
there's nothing.
I mean, but the thing is, are you saying that becoming an atheist makes you more likely to be suicidal?
100%.
There's no evidence of that.
Well, there is clear evidence from that supporting the just that study that I brought up.
But again, the study that you're bringing up, it makes the conclusions around.
That's fine.
Hold on, NSJ.
That's fine.
It makes the conclusions around community. Atheists can have community.
That's fine. One. But I'm just saying it makes it more likely if you're an atheist.
But there's no evidence of that. The study didn't conclude that.
It quite literally did.
No, it didn't.
If happiness is a measure that is the opposite of depression and all that stuff, then you will find it amongst.
It's not about being an atheist. It's about not having community. Anybody who doesn't have community will become suicidal.
Well, okay. Well, I'll let go of that then, not because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So I just don't think that there is anything you can base your humanitarian ideas of when you ask
Why
a
not?
person, when you ask
You're
somebody
human- are we not
who's letting
human
go of
beings?
life, how do you convince a person to back out of that? There's nothing you can tell them. There's nothing you
That
can tell
depends.
them.
That depends on the person, bro. Like,
I'm
'cause you're
saying,
simply,
I'm saying,
hold on,
I'm saying,
NSJ. It depends on the person because people have those type of thoughts for different reasons. You just can't say there's nothing that an atheist can tell them to help them live, because there are therapists who are atheists, right? And they help people with their suicidal thoughts. So saying there's nothing they can tell them is kind of silly. We can.
I wouldn't agree with that. I wouldn't agree that's the case. But
NSJ, and hold on, wait. How can you not agree that's the case? You're saying that entire profession of therapists, they're all religious?
I'm saying that the therapists that are not religious are not supportive in.
How do you know that?
Coming.
How do you know that?
I'm not basing that off of any evidence, if that's what you're asking. I'm basing that off.
So you're making a baseless claim?
Or you're saying that I'm making a baseless claim.
No, you are making a baseless claim.
No, you did make a baseless claim.
You literally said that you don't think that therapists. Hold on, NSJ. You literally said that therapists who are non-religious are not supportive. You realize that's our job, right?
So
our job is to be supportive.
I already told you what my opinion on that was.
NSJ, our job is to be supportive. Our entire profession, our entire license requires us. Hold on.
Really good job.
Hold on. Our entire license requires
do you want me
us.
to convince you or do you not?
NSJ, our entire license depends on us to be supportive. It's literally our license depends on it. You're saying that we went to school this entire time, got the test.
Right, you want to go back to the topic?
Hold on. Got the test, got the license, took on clients to only not be supportive.
Right.
Does that logically make sense to you?
I don't agree. Let's go back to the topic.
NSJ, does that make sense to you?
You are wrong.
I just told you it doesn't. Let's go back to the topic.
All right. So you realize that you're wrong then. This is very idiotic to say.
I didn't say that. You said that. Okay. So
you're wrong. This is idiotic to say.
You're
just
correct objectively.
You're just objectively wrong. NSJ, you understand that being supportive is what we get the license for. Like it's literally our license to be supportive.
Why are you going off topic on this rant?
NSJ, the reason why I am because you brought it up. You brought this up.
Also, he's the host, so he can do whatever he wants. You don't run shit over here, just like your church.
Exactly. Number one, you don't run shit here, but number two, you know who brought this up. Now you're retreating from it. You realize that it's crazy to say that just because a therapist is non-religious, they cannot be supportive.
Right, should I grant it for you so we can go back on the topic?
All right. So do you understand that's crazy to say?
Sure. Let's go back on the topic.
All right. Great. What's a good reason for me to believe in a God?
All right. Now that we are back on the conversation that we were supposed to talk to.
Don't do the snarky shit.
Don't do the snarky shit. You could get dropped.
Yeah, because
like we said, you don't run shit over here.
You're the one who brought this up. So if we're gonna go down that rabbit hole, don't bring up shit you're gonna retreat from later. Then, all right. So let's. Yes, you did. Let's do this. Don't do the snarky shit, and let's go ahead and talk. And you can talk with the panel now because I've been on for a while. You guys can go ahead and talk to them. But what's a good reason?
Go
ahead, Caddy.
May I address them?
Sure.
So it seems to me, by your own subjective reality and the own nature of your experiences, that you are thereby grabbing what you hear and what you have read and giving yourself and formulating yourself a purpose. But it is you yourself who are creating the purpose. It is you, by being the individual, is the one that's creating a purpose. You're the one that wants an afterlife. You're the one that wants a purpose to reality. These are you that's doing this. So in that comprehension, somebody else within the subjective reality from which we live can make their own ideas and their own contextualization of reality. It is up to them to define their purpose. Up to them to define their purpose. You are defining your purpose based upon your subjective reality experience. And that in itself is different from all other individuals within our reality, within our contextual reality. So to say that a people cannot be atheistic
and be humanitarian and have a community and not be suicidal is just asinine. It's just crazy, because you can have a community around a lot of things that don't make a lot of sense, like flat Earth, for example. You know, so yeah, man. Do you get what I'm throwing down?
I would say that last part is reasonable. You can make a lot of things up and just believe them, and then try to live that way. I would say it doesn't work out very often.
I would say there are some cultists that really push forward with their cult and become really rich and famous and powerful, and there you go. And they have a crazy cult. They have a crazy cult.
Rich people are just a side.
But you understand, it depends on the community and the strength of the community that can lift the person forward, and it not necessarily what the real truth is, what the real truth is, or what the real reality is. Do you understand?
I understand, but that's exactly my point. If you want to call a community, which I will go with that for now, the weakest type of communities are obviously the ones that are not within religion, and he just made that point himself.
Who said that?
Right.
Who said that?
The main man that is concerned.
I said that they're smaller and it's harder to find. I didn't say that they're weak. You're saying that because they're smaller, that makes them weak? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I didn't say smaller. I said because their foundation of their community is less solid.
So I didn't say that. So the when you say the foundation of the community, so you're claiming that they're weak. We didn't say that. We can still have a strong community and have a strong, solid foundation. The foundation could be humanitarianism, critical thinking, things of that matter, right? So we can still have a strong foundation and have a strong community, even if it's
I would argue that's exactly what the community is. For example, Volsi, that we have built on this that with Black atheists is literally about critical thinking and humanitarianism.
Yeah.
That has literally been what we have built. A lot of these platforms.
Most cults are small and they're very strong. So like the concept, the idea that, oh well, you don't have a strong foundation. Like what creates a strong foundation?
I'm saying I don't think they're very happy people.
How do you know I'm not a happy person?
Like
I'm not speaking on you specifically, but I'm saying that people that don't have.
What makes you think that they're not happy?
Why do I think they're not happy? I think they're not happy because they don't have a grounding, like a stone ground that they're standing on under all the reasons why they're doing things. They're doing.
Yeah, we do.
You said well-being. And
yeah, that's a strong foundation. Well-being is a pretty strong foundation.
Why? But why well-being?
What do you mean? Why well-being?
Why do that?
Why do
be
that?
well?
Why be well? Because it's preferable. I like being healthy.
Why? Why is it preferable?
Because that's just how my body is built. I like to be healthy, so it's preferable for me to be healthy.
That's a circular argument.
It is. My body is built that way. My body is not built to not to. My mind is geared towards being secure, being emotionally well, being mentally well. That's what my mind is built around. So that's why I give my life towards.
Well, many people disagree. Many people are dead.
I know they disagree, but you asked me about me, right? So that's what I'm built towards.
Right, but you have to explain why those people are disagreeing with you.
I don't know why they're disagreeing with me. They're disagreeing for their own reasons. I don't know. That's not me. That's on them. Like, go ask them. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What about just the human body, like dopamine receptors, right? Like dopamine receptors can influence behavior. So like there's people who do like one would consider destructive things based on the dopamine receptors. Other things do things that others would consider more helpful. You know, like one may engage in illicit substances in a way that is makes it hard for them to function in life, right? But they continue to do it because the dopamine receptors continue to fire, whereas other people choose to, I don't know, let's say work out, a lot because their dopamine receptors basically reward them for working out, right? So for us, our dopamine receptors reward us, right, for getting into community that reinforces a behavior that we feel via our dopamine receptors is positive, that activates those dopamine receptors. That makes sense to you?
I get your point. There's things that are above your dopamine receptors, like when you take a drug, it feels very good in the moment, but when you take it off, when you're off of it, you realize that was a very bad decision I made because I almost died. And the reason why, even if you do something positive with your dopamine receptors, that it feels good, you still get an awakening afterwards. Once your feelings dial down, you have to make a decision on what you think about what you actually did. And there are people that decide after the feelings that they felt after drugs or working out that all of it wasn't worth it. All of it wasn't interesting to them. Those people exist, and those people have to be explained to why they are wrong for leaving this life. Or you could say that they're not wrong for leaving this life. And if they're not wrong, then there's going to be many people that don't agree with you, and there's going to be many deaths. That's something I believe.
It's human life. Like humans disagree with each other. That doesn't really mean much. I mean, like, people disagree on what God they feel is the correct God. Like, you say, oh, it's God. Others say it's Zeus, and others going to say it's Cthulhu. We say it's nothing. So
and for you that has apparently worked well.
Let me finish real quick. Like, you basically said, oh, well, the belief in God is morally good. But like, there's nothing to basically to say that believing in God is morally good. Like, there's nothing to back that up or to prove it. It's just like your opinion, man. Like, it's pretty much
there's no evidence inside. There's no evidence of the kind that you guys want. That
here's what I would say to reiterate.
Hold on,
when it comes to I got you. When it comes to self-deletion, again, I don't take this as a moral issue. It's an issue of health. Like, it's not wrong to catch a cold. I mean, you're not morally wrong to catch a cold. You just caught a cold. It's an issue of health. I mean, it's not an issue of morality. Now, you're saying there's going to be people who disagree with that notion. That doesn't mean that's going to lead to more deaths. We just disagree on the issue of suicidality. That's all we disagree on. We all still want to save these people.
Right, but I'm saying you're not going to be able to. It's not going to work.
So why did it work for me?
Because it worked for you and not for somebody else.
But you just said that we're not going to be able to save anybody, but it worked for me.
Right, and it's not going to work for somebody else.
But you don't know that.
Actually, he should actually take his words and then eat them, because if you have a belief system and you think it's going to work for everybody else, but it doesn't work for everybody else, that means it doesn't work for everybody else. So, I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but, I'll use an AC/DC quote here. God is the blanket we throw over the mystery to give it form. And you're doing that, but that's not the only way to handle reality or the contextualization of reality. That's just your way.
You can call it blankets, but is the blanket really there? Is it real? If it's real,
I mean, you're too attached. You could be very much too attached to the blanket, and you formulated the ego around it, and you're parading it around as a protective blanket to condition your reality so that you have a firm foundation. But it doesn't make anybody else's way of doing that any different from yours. You're just thinking that you have a superiority understanding of reality when you do not. Because again, it is you who makes up your own purpose. It is you who defines your own purpose. And similarly, it is other people who do the same.
And Ajay, the problem that I'm having here is that you're saying that we're not going to be able to save anybody. It's not going to work, but it worked for me. And you're simply saying, oh, well, it worked for you, not going to work for somebody else. You don't know that. There are plenty of people who are non-religious out there. Hold on. But it did work. I'm an example. So you can't say it doesn't work if I'm an example.
I'm saying it hasn't worked with those people.
Which people are you talking about? You're just coming up with a hypothetical people, bro. Who are you talking about?
I mean, the statistic of suicide that's increasing every single year,
That's not because people don't have religion. Religion has been increasing, as a matter of fact, and suicide is still going up. So the issue of suicide, hold on, yes, it is. So religion, especially for amongst young men, has been increasing. There are more religious young men than young women right now. Religion amongst young men has been increasing, but suicide amongst young men has also been increasing. So it's not about religion.
If you look at like the last 5 years, it has increased slightly in some ways. If you look at the past 100 or 200 years, it has narrowed down extremely to
my point, NSJ, is that religion has been going up, especially amongst young men, but suicidality is still going up amongst young men. That means that religion is not the cure-all here. There's something else going on.
I also want to point this out, Volsi. Notice that the religion, belief in religion, in particular Christianity, is going up in young men. It's also around the same time that a lot of more young men, specifically Gen Z and millennial men, are going further right. I don't want you to ignore that part.
There's that part, yeah, exactly, because they're going more and more further conservative. Yeah, I mean, the pendulum shift of society has shifted from the left to back to the right. Right, that happened. So more people are becoming religious. But as we see more people becoming religious, we still see suicidality still going up. So religion is not the cure-all here. The cure-all is security, is emotional health, and mental health.
It's way too early to make such a statement about a 5-year increase in religious.
I think it's actually a 10-year increase. It's been going up for a while. I think since 2016, the first Trump era. I think during the Trump era of politics, religion has been going up.
That would make sense. That sounds about right.
Since like 2016, since the Trump era of politics, it's been going up. And suicide,
these are too small time frames.
And suicide amongst young men is still going up. So yeah, correlation is not causation, right? I'm not saying that because people are becoming more religious, that's why they're committing suicide. Of course not. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying is that because we see this phenomenon happening, we cannot say that being non-religious is what's causing all of this, because religion is going up. So it can't be that. All right, we do got to move on. I got one more last person, but NSJ, go ahead and come back next time. We appreciate you.
Able to say.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to Cajun. I'm gonna let you guys take this one because it's I've been talking for a while. But Cajun, it looks like we're gonna disagree on politics as well. But
you saw that too?
Yeah, I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
So what's a good reason for us to believe in a God? Why should we even be conservative? Fuck Donald Trump, by the way.
By the way, I gave no indication that I support MAGA. So don't make assumptions. That's the problem with you.
You really did
assumptions. Well, I don't support MAGA.
Hey, but Cajun,
I don't support MAGA politics.
I got you. Pause real quick.
But y'all making assumptions.
Hold on, Cajun. Pause. So what I said.
Well,
pause. My goodness, don't talk again. So what I said was why we may disagree politically. Why should I be should we believe in a God? And I also said, why do you think we should be conservative? I didn't say anything about MAGA. Now I did say fuck Donald Trump, but you agree with that, by the way. So, but I'm assuming that you're
also conservatism and MAGA are not mutually exclusive. Actually, there are conservatives that are anti-MAGA. In fact, many of them are.
Many are anti-MAGA, yeah. So if you're an anti-MAGA conservative, that's fine. Yeah.
I'm actually because I'm a moderate, right? So I have a mixture of both, and I could tell you that there are a lot of conservatives who are anti-MAGA. I've actually come across a few on this app, especially during this
administration,
this time around. During this time administration, there's a lot of conservatives leaving.
I hold both conservative and liberal views simultaneously.
Okay,
it's not necessarily to line up completely on one side or the other.
Okay, cool. Not a problem.
Yeah, that's why I'm a moderate. So you're moderate.
Yeah.
No, because the political moderates tend to.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine, Cajun.
We don't have to get into that right now.
Yeah, why should we believe in a God?
Okay, we don't have to get into that yet. So, sorry, what's your question?
Why should we believe in a God? And your God, actually,
okay. Matter of fact. Well, mine isn't philosophical or a opinionated position. Mine is actually
It's actually it's based strongly in facts, and the reason why I think that everybody should believe in not only God but the God of the Bible is the God of the Bible claims that the fact that he knows the future proves he's God, and it doesn't stop there. He actually lines up all the so-called gods of this world, Allah, Buddha, Shiva, Brahma, Zoroaster, Zeus, all of them. He lines them all up and he challenges them to prove their divinity by declaring the future. And then immediately after, he pimp slaps the dog snot out of all of them, calling them abominable and impotent and you name it. Now, this challenge was 2,700 years ago. So these so-called other world religions whose systems are based in these other deities have had plenty of time to produce documents that prove that their deities know the future, and they don't. You can read any ancient book and you will find no prophecy, whether it's the Mahabharata or the Bhagavad Gita or the Tanyaka or any of these principal Eastern religious books. You will find no predictions of the future. But when you open the Bible, you find plenty of prophecies, predictions before the fact that came to fulfillment. Now, I'll say this one last thing because it's very important. One last thing. People say, well, the stuff that's written in the Bible was written down after the fact, so it doesn't prove anything. Well, the fact is, the 2nd century Dead Sea Scrolls, which were found in Palestine, they actually contain a writing from the book of Daniel, chapters 2 through 7, that are written in Imperial Aramaic. And this Imperial Aramaic could not have been originated in 2nd century. It had to have been written down in 6th century BC when Daniel
everybody pause. I am Cajun. I just want to clarify something. Did you say that that Hinduism doesn't have prophecies of the future?
Yeah, there's no.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah, being a Hindu, I know that's not true.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was asking you. Is
there's no prophecies in the Quran. There's no prophecies in the Mahabharata.
Have you read the Mahabharata?
So I just did a quick Google search. Hinduism does have prophecies of the future, my guy. What are you talking about?
All right. So a couple things that he needs to understand.
Wait,
sir. Let me talk. Sir, historically.
Let me just clarify
out of polytheism.
Google searches for truth. Cajun. Like asking the wolves whether or not the sheep should.
Cajun.
Go ahead, Caddy.
Okay, out of Middle Eastern polytheism formulates Judaism, and out of Judaism births Christianity and Islam. That is historical, archaeological fact. Your Yahweh is a nomadic storm and war deity. First, a war deity, nomadic, to near Egypt, the desert near Egypt. Then it gets fused with El, and then it joins the Canaanite pantheon through syncretism. And then eventually Zoroastrianism comes in with some influence and formulates Judaism. That is the archaeological fact. And Hinduism is archaeologically older than your belief system. We are one of the oldest ancient living spiritualities. Like, and to say that we don't have a prophecy in our own, like, we at the end of Kali Yuga, Kalki comes to usher in the destruction of this Yuga. That's part of our.
What are you even talking about?
You don't fucking have the education. Is what I'm talking about.
All right, everybody pause. Cajun, what he's saying is that your claim before that these religions don't have prophecies in their holy books is just wrong.
It's flat out correct.
Hinduism, the Bhagavad Gita does have prophecies. We have a Hindu person, we have a person here who actually is within Hinduism, and he's telling you that in his text, it does have prophecies of the future. It does have that. So you're just wrong, bro.
He's not mentioning it. He's bringing up the history of my God, supposed history.
That means that you
I
weren't
want to talk
listening.
about his prophecy.
That
What's
means
he
you
saying
weren't
in his
listening.
prophecy?
That means you weren't
Because
listening.
I've been
He
studying this stuff
absolutely
for
brought up
years and years
history
and
of
years.
your
Give it to
of
that
his
shut. You
religion.
were in diapers when I was studying this stuff, pal. Let's hear the prophecies.
He just told you one.
Thank you, Velocity. Thank you. He don't listen. He don't
Where's
listen.
that
Nor
little
does he
diaper
study. He
clown
probably
that
hasn't studied
claims
anything.
that the Hinduism has prophecies? Let's talk about it.
I literally just put it on the screen. Let's do it again.
Can you do the simple act
on the
of
screen,
listening?
bro. See,
I'm not
so
talking to
he
5 people at once, okay? I'm not talking to 5 people. I want to talk to that individual.
Listen, not listen to respond.
I want to talk to that individual who claims there's prophecy.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and put it on the screen again. Hinduism does have prophecies, the cycle of the yugas, and I think Caddy can explain those better than I can. So go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I can't even see that screen. I want to hear him tell me about these prophecies.
He's gonna tell you. I'll just put it on the screen so you know that you're wrong.
I can't read the screen. It's all broken up.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. You know what? I'll go ahead and there we go. We'll zoom in. Is that better?
The individual made a claim. I want to hear him talk about it.
That's fine. That's fine. Good. Can you see that?
I want to cross-examine. I can't cross-examine a Google page.
I understand that, but do you know that just have a quick
put the individual up there who claims it.
Occasion, be quiet. You do understand that
you're gonna put that guy up or not?
Hey, this is my stage. Shut up. So
your claim,
shut the fuck up. You said that Hinduism doesn't have shut the fuck up. You said that Hinduism shut up. You said that Hinduism doesn't have shut up. You said that Hinduism doesn't have prophecies. It clearly does, right?
Come off one more time and interrupt me or the host, and I'm gonna drop you.
All you gotta do is do a quick Google search, and we found that Hinduism has prophecies.
I'm not.
All we gotta do is do a quick Google search and show that Hinduism does in fact have prophecies.
Because I already gave you direction. If you came off of music, and I was gonna drop you. That's how that works.
I want a Caddy to go ahead and keep eating them up, but my bad, Caddy.
I'm not going to too, but here's the thing: we can't even allow him to do that if he keep on interrupting.
Yeah, but actually, I'm interested still. Caddy, tell us about some of those prophecies. I like that.
Okay,
you can still say it.
In Hinduism, we have cyclic time. Okay, cyclic time serves the purpose of the mother. I'm gonna use Shaktism, which is my tradition. Mm-hmm. The mother, Adi Parashakti, the divine mother, creates the Trimurti. She is the action principle. The Trimurti is Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, which Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the preserver, Shiva is the destroyer. And also renewer in a way, because after destruction comes renewal. Think about a volcano erupting on an island, then because everything being where it's at, the trees come back up in that island eventually again. So Kali Yuga is the time of spiritual decay, discourse, corruption, a lot of arguing, a lot of tribalism, and that yuga ends in destruction. And at the end of that yuga, Kalki comes as the preservation and the destroyer at the same time, because after destruction, it all starts over again from Sata Yuga, which is the time of peace, and then slowly starts to decay into the other yugas. So I mean, that's just I'm just giving you the basis. You know what I mean? I could go further in depth, more deeper, but I'm just giving you the basis. So there is like a prophecy, so to speak, that we're in Kali Yuga. It's going to last 423,000 years before it ends, and then it starts all over again. The whole process starts all over again. So yeah.
That's pretty damn interesting. Yeah. So I'm reading it now. They talk about moral and political decay. They talk about, the lifespan of things getting shorter, lifespans and stuff like that. People can easily say, those who are theistic Hindus, they can easily say that, the entire thing about COVID fulfill that prophecy too, because if lifespans are getting shorter, it is calculated that lifespans did get shorter because of COVID. So they can take that as a fulfilled prophecy too. You know what I mean? So it's like there's so much here, which is why I love when people of other religions are here, so we can get those other perspectives. It's amazing.
And keep in mind, it's 5,000 years older than Abrahamic religion. So you know what I mean?
Most religions are older than Abrahamic religion, son.
Most of them. Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. It's narcissism for Christians to think that they are that their belief is not only the only one, but the only one that should be respected. Christian, and that's another thing, right? I think, Volsi, you could correct me on this. I think I remember reading a study years ago, and it said that Christians actually displayed lower levels of empathy than non-Christians, and I believe there's a reason for that. And I'm like, and if you look at the traits of the God in the Bible, right? Now, obviously, this is not me giving a psychiatric diagnosis or anything, but these are behaviors that that I have observed. If you look at the behaviors and the traits of the God in the Bible and the behavior of Christians, not only do they align, but those behaviors are narcissistic.
Yeah.
I believe, no, and maybe this is just, I don't know if this is something that's been proven yet, but what I observe, I believe Christianity can actually breed narcissism, especially in men in particular. Because I was talking to someone the other day, and I was like, imagine you have an ABUSIEV, man, and he and you give him a pulpit and a Bible, and how much damage he could do. Like, imagine the damage that he could do with a Bible and a pulpit.
Definitely do a lot of damage. All right, guys. Yeah, I was gonna say that we're gonna conclude in a second, but go ahead, Caddy. Go ahead and say that last.
I wanna say that I'm a tradition Hindu, so I have a tradition. Sometimes the philosophical schools within Hinduism are atheistic, like Advaita Vedanta, are kind of atheistic leaning. Sometimes those philosophical schools get paired with the traditions. So, and then within the traditions, we have like sampradayas, which are spiritual lineage, like denominations in a way. So, what you see in Hinduism is the understanding of like cyclic science and infinite theory, you know what I mean? And multiverse theory mixed into Hinduism, where you can lean into the philosophical side of things scientifically and still be Advaita Vedantin. But you can also be in a tradition and look at things like, you know how I just mentioned Adi Parashakti is the mother, but she's the active principle. And then there's Brahma, the creator, Shiva, the destroyer, and Vishnu, the preserver. Well, preservation, destruction, and creation are natural products of our reality. They happen all the time, and they happen within our cosmos. So that's a way that you can look at it through a more Advaita Vedantin lens and understand that you are that which is having an experience. And you know what I mean? And it's beautiful in that sense, the philosophical side of things anyway.
Gotcha. All right, guys. Hey, man, I really appreciate y'all. I've been on for a few hours. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Got to clean my house up and probably go to dinner tonight. But, hey, I appreciate y'all for being here. You guys are all wonderful. Caddy does lives on Hinduism and learning about it. Caddy, let them know where to find you, bro.
You can find me on Wednesdays. I'm usually live on Wednesdays at 11 p.m., sometimes midnight on Wednesdays. So going into Thursday, sort of early at night.
Dope. What about you, Trill? Is that true? No worries. Kay, to let the folks know where they can find you. Oh, Trill is there. Go ahead, Trill.
Oh, go ahead, Trill.
Okay, so all right. Well, I guess just here at the Trill Progressive on TikTok. I'm also on Twitter.
I'm gonna convince you to start doing lives on communism. Promise.
Oh, I don't know anything about communism. I ain't gonna lie.
Were you? I thought you were a communist. Were you a socialist or just a leftist?
I'm just a leftist. I believe in mixed economy.
Okay, gotcha.
To be honest, I'm thinking about starting one on makeup.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
makeup will be dope. And Kay, let the folks know where to find you.
That's right.
You can find me at KK Reloaded 3, 4, and 5 here on TikTok.
All righty. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. So just like I always tell people, thank y'all so much for being here. If you're watching me from the Volsi Thoughts channel, thank you so much for watching me there over on Volsi Thoughts. If you're watching me on the Bash channel, if you're a Black atheist, agnostic, skeptics, or humanist, go ahead and subscribe to the Bash channel. Go ahead and join the Discord as well. And if you do content, we're gonna go ahead and let you get on that as well. Promise I'm gonna get Kay to get on there one of these days. I'll figure it out. And if you're watching me over on Deconstruction Junction, once again, big win on those numbers. Thank y'all so much for being here. As I always say, everybody be soft. Every man should be soft. Be secure, be affectionate, be wise, be flexible, and be trustworthy. Be soft, y'all. I appreciate you.